Yes, guys, welcome to the Liverpool show. Hope everyone's doing well. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys. We're going to talk about all the issues with Liverpool Football Club today. We'll be back right after this. Don't forget to hit the like, hit the sub. Let's go. Yes, guys, welcome, everybody. It's the Liverpool show. It is Saturday night. It's rock and roll hour. It's rock and roll hour, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Big up to everyone in the chat. Everyone, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. On our way to 3K. 3K, guys. We're trying to get there as quick as we can. Hope everyone's doing well. Big up John Conway in the house. Hope you're doing well. Carmino in the house. Fabio's got this. How you doing, my friend? Big up Daz. Big up Jane. Like new intro. Thank you very much. Big up still rock and roll. Exactly. Jane wish Liverpool can win the Premier League. Everything fly back. Big up. Savage, I'll send you the DM on your Twitter if you want to join. Big up Ricky. How you doing, my man? And no longer rock and roll football. No, it isn't. But it's rock and roll. It's a rock and roll channel. And big up Andrew in the. How you doing, Andrew? You all right, mate?
Yeah, I just want to apologise for the other day. Obviously, I feel a little bit much better now. Now I feel a lot better. Obviously, I made up there was no football today because I don't think I could go through another terrible performance for the next 90 minutes. But I think now, obviously, I've heard that Tuesday's game will probably still be going ahead. Which is good to boost for us. Obviously, hopefully we've had training session this weekend and Monday, so hopefully the lads will actually wake up for once and start actually playing better football again.
No, I agree, mate. I agree. You don't have to apologise for anything anyway, my man. Did you have that tactical make you feel better? Yeah.
I actually watched Spider-Man, to be honest, just to calm me down.
Oh, whatever does it for you, mate. Whatever does it for you. Right. Good for you, Andrew. Good for you. Glad you're feeling better, mate. That's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Thank you, mate.
Big up Fabio. We'll be back soon enough. Klopp's got it, lads. Big up to you. Big up Carmina. Thank God you're on, Jamie. It's been a long day. I've had the footy. Big up to you. All right, so go batter us. Stephen, my man. Stephen. Yeah, I mean, this is what we're here for, though. I know a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, it's therapy, Liverpool therapy session. Well, if that's the case, then, you know, therapy's going to cost a lot of money, guys. So let's not call it therapy. Let's just call it a bit of, I don't know, a kick up the butt session. Kick up the butt, and they need to have a good telling off. I've sent links out as well to other people if they want to join. So Savage got the link, Cav has got the link, and there's a link in our collective DMs on Twitter, guys. So if you guys got it,
to let you know, by the way, I am actually watching Spider-Man. If you can see,
what Spider-Man's that?
Homecoming.
Homeland.
Yeah, Homeland. Nice. I call it Homecoming, but it's Homeland.
Homeland. Homelander. Now that's the program. If we don't beat Ajax, then what? Big up Casey for days. How you doing, my friend? JJ, have you seen we're getting blamed for games being called off? Yeah, so obviously Andrew's a Scouser, but so he can probably tell you a bit more than I can. I'm not a Scouser. I'm just a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, basically what's happened is obviously due to the Queen's death.
Yeah,
there haven't been enough officers this weekend to like go into ground, so that's why they've called it off every game this weekend. So, but hopefully next weekend there'll be obviously this clarification that apparently Liverpool and Chelsea will happen, but it will be at Anfield and off the Athletic, and obviously Liverpool and Ajax will go ahead on Tuesday.
So there's a thing, obviously, in Liverpool. Liverpool don't obviously don't like Tories, one, and
that's true.
They're not endeavoured by the royal family either, and it all goes back generations and generations and generations. There's real rooted hate there, especially for the Tory government, who completely ripped apart Liverpool's port. I mean, Liverpool got one of the biggest ports in Europe, and they're not allowed to use it properly. You know, degraded the city through tyranny, and that's why the Pudians don't like, especially the Tory government, and you know, and then you got the royal family. They don't feel part of that either. So, you know, I'm not a Scouser, so I can't say too much on it, but that's all I know on it. But to blame Liverpool for games being postponed is just absolutely.
It's happened to everyone else, so they can't just blame us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's happened to every other club.
Yeah, exactly. Big up, Steve. As soon as the news came out, the Queen died. I know quality shows will be shown until after the funeral. I know Liverpool get postponed up out loud. Have Ajax got any good players? Last time I checked, they all left. That is a point.
I think the only good player they've still got is probably like Alvarez, Tadic, and bloody Kudos.
Yeah. We're undefeated with Matip and Nunez on the field at the same time. Might be something in that. Big up El Scouser. I don't like the authorities on Budham, exactly. Let's not get too much into politics. Yeah, we know it is. Yeah, exactly. Ant says, Jay, you can, Jay. Kudid is a great player. You can, Jay, because you've read up and understand why these people haven't. Big up to you, and thank you very much. Let's hope for a good ref against Chelsea. Yeah, so yeah, exactly, Ricky, and big up to everyone. And yeah, so if the game against Chelsea happens next week, it's actually going to be at Anfield instead of Stamford Bridge, ain't it? So I don't know why that is. I'm not quite sure. I think
it's due to like shortage of like police officers in London. So I don't think there'll be enough officers for the game.
Yeah, because they're going to be all very busy
for the
in and
Queen's
around.
funeral and stuff. Yeah,
because the funeral's Monday, ain't it? So, but she's laying in state, ain't it? So they've all got to be about, ain't they? So yeah, that'll be what it is. It's 1-5-0, lads. Don't mean to worry.
Yeah, I seen that. I watched that game. I was in the pub with my mate before the game, and Ajax just ripped them apart, literally. I've never seen Rangers like go 4-0. Was it 4? I can't remember. It was 4 or 5 now. Can't remember now.
Yeah, well, it's battered Rangers.
Destroyed, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they're a decent side. There's no doubt about it. We're going to come a bit in trouble against them because they are, they're a decent team.
I know, obviously, we beat them with pandemic a few years ago. We beat them twice. But with fans now, it's going to be very, very difficult right now to play them.
It's big Liverpool. Trudon, you're still on loan at Brighton. Now Potter's gone. Or are you coming back?
How do you think? I mean, if Lallana would have took charge this weekend, I mean, obviously, I know he's done coaching with Liverpool, hasn't he? Like badges for Liverpool and stuff. Yeah. I think he would have done a good job, to be honest. Like, I've always liked Lallana, like, even though he was injured all the time with us, but I've always liked him.
Yeah, Lallana's he seems a decent lad, but going from Potter to Lallana is a big step down, isn't it? I find it.
Yeah.
We defend like have been and Ajax will literally run for us. Yeah, that is a thing. Big up my man. Lallana's going to play 14 number 10s. 14 number 10s. Naby Lad says, Dr. Jim Moxon left his role in August. Could this be a reason for all the injuries? Yeah, it could be. And that's why he has been sacked, because he ain't good enough at his job, maybe. I'm not sure. Might have sank in it, my man. What about Liverpool fans who have bought tickets to go to Chelsea? Yeah, exactly. No, if Ajax beat us, I fear for Klopp. I'm still on loan until January at least, and I negotiate a probable release. Yeah, we're good, Ant. We're good there. Let's get Savage in as well. There you go.
I'll do. Come on, boys.
All right.
Been a few days.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, man. Feels like we're on every day. As soon as we have a flipping day and a half off and that, feels like it's been a week.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it's been eternity. My earphones are absolutely shit. I can barely hear anything. Yeah, so basically, I thought I'd do a video today. I was on Connor's channel earlier. Big up to Connor at the Cop Council, and I went on his show sort of like last 10 minutes and sort of basically took over it with a rant. And
did
I
you?
thought,
Flipping, you should have told me.
By the way, I was watching it and I was like, "Oh my god, what's going on here?"
Oh, shit.
To be fair, the numbers went right up, and
he's on a CM Punk.
And I thought, you know what? The kids are quiet. Let's do a video and have another rant. Have another video and have another rant and get everyone else on it. True, don't ever wear okay. Say no. Why did Nunez do to deserve his filthy hate? I know that.
Oh, I've seen like that thing that come from Spain. That's BS. Like, I don't know who wrote that. Like,
what's happened?
It's just mad, nigga.
Some Spanish article saying like officials said, "Oh, spending too much on Darwin was a mistake," which was BS. That was BS from Spain. So
he's played like 30 minutes in like 5 games in each.
2 goals, 1 assist already.
Played 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. And we're rating him. It's just mad, ain't it? It's just mad. At the moment, it's going to be a tough game against Ajax. Even if we were on form, it wouldn't be easy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went wild. You're certainly right. I did that. Big up KVJ with the super chat. Evening, Jamie. Hope you and the family are well, bro. Yeah, doing well. I was with Penny today, and I let everyone know. Right, can you just go through the rest of the chat minutes, Savage? My son is doing a screaming match.
Yeah. Where did you go? To the super chat? Go up to the super chat. Innit?
I've read the super.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Big up Ricky in the chat, member, and that. It's not like you to rant, Jamie. Jamie's the king of the rants, man. I wish I knew, man. I feel it's been weird, hasn't it, Andrew? I feel like I've been out of the loop for flipping ages. It's literally been.
I feel a lot better after the other day. Feel a lot better.
Man, I was worried about you the other day. Didn't you see my message in the group? You messaged something and that, and I was like, "Yo, Andrew, you're right." And then you just never said anything again. I was like, "What the flip's going on, man?"
Yeah, it's been a couple of I've had obviously right now going through family stuff as well, which is made me a little bit depressive. Obviously, my auntie's still continuing recovery from. I'm not going to say the way because it's horrible. Obviously, my uncle's liver. He's got like this liver problem, which I won't go into either. So at least I've got used to for support and stuff if I ever need to talk to you or DM you.
Yeah, man, come on, bro. Yeah, it makes sense, man. I'm guessing that obviously you're going through all of that, and then Liverpool lost as well, and it just tips you.
I know, it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Yeah, that man, that's a lot of everyone's problem, man. We put so much.
I've watched this club for 17 years, and I've never seen a worse start to the Prem ever like that before.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Listen, man, you just got to remember that like 3.5 months ago, 4 months ago, man, we were doing pretty good, man. So if we can change that quick, it can almost come back around as well. Big up Captain Cell, #FSG out. Evening, Jamie. Go on, Ben. Big up Jamie. Ilias, get that bum Nunez out of my club. That's deep, man.
It's got to give him time.
I can't tell people how to think on that, but literally, tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm pretty sure he came on against Fulham for 29 minutes. Nah, a little bit longer.
He made an impact.
Made an impact, scored, got an assist as well.
He's got 2 goals and an assist this season. Even City in the Community Shield came on.
Who did we play after Fulham?
Palace. Obviously got sent off.
Palace got
which we won't go into.
So lasted half a game there.
Played against Everton.
Everyone was rubbish in that game. He didn't really do anything.
Yeah. And then Napoli was on the bench.
Yeah. So literally, the man's had less than 90 minutes on the pitch so far, or just over. And he's getting destroyed now. I know for a fact that, like, I know what the problem is already. But also he hasn't been able to play. So Jamie, I got up to Ilias's comment where he said, "Get that bomb Nunez out my club." But yeah, I just think I was gonna say we need to play to his style and that, but literally he hasn't played much anyway. So it's kind of pointless even saying that at the moment. Like, it's funny you that you actually brought that up because I literally today, because I was bored, I went through Nunez's old games. Obviously not for us, because there's not enough in it. And then I found this this website where I could find this heat map for Benfica. Didn't really need it for Liverpool because I've watched his games, not been many. And he spent most of his time on the left-hand side of the pitch. Like, he played most of the games as a left winger, pretty much, a wing forward, kind of in Diaz's spot. Because everyone thinks he can't control the ball and run with the ball and that. If you go and watch them back and watch where his goals come from or his assists, it's where they come from. Most of the goals ain't from in the centre, so he's adapting to it, innit? But yeah. Anyway, carry on, Jamie, and big up, John.
Big up, John. You're doing all right, mate?
I'm not doing bad, man. Thanks for having us on. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys are all well. Keep us safe.
Yeah, we're doing
Big
well,
up,
mate.
man.
We're
We're
doing
good,
well.
man.
Trying to work out.
Ilias's comment, bro. Just underneath that. So Cavs the next comment, I think.
My earphones are garbage. They must have the wire must have broken. I can hear, but it's like quiet.
Yeah.
Trent out, Jesus. Trent out the squad. I get you. I'm
Yeah,
still
out
giving
the
Nunez a season and judging him in January next season. Or
Yeah,
this is
good
just
idea, man.
pretext. Same, eh? Same.
Good idea.
think
We know
everyone
that a
forgets-
striker doesn't need longer than a season to prove how good he is. We know that much, but
I think
he
everyone
needs
forgets
longer than
that
flipping an hour and 20
Drogba-
minutes.
Drogba looked shy
Drogba,
when
yeah.
he came in.
Yeah.
Drogba looked absolute terrible when he came into to Chelsea.
People
the first
seem to
season.
forget as well, like Torres, when he first came to Liverpool, he started off slow and look what happened. Scored 20 goals each season.
We've seen it with loads of strikers.
Yeah.
I've heard went Harry Kane on loan at Leicester first
Yeah.
before he went back into
Harry
the
That
top.
Kane
was
did.
weird, that, seeing him in a Leicester shirt at
He
the
was on loan
time.
at Leicester. I think if I'm correct, when he came back, he was on the
QPR,
bench, and then
Leicester.
Defoe got injured. Yeah, then Defoe got injured. He played, scored. He scored some like couple of Europa League goals, and then he just carried on playing. Like, give the geezer a flipping chance, man. You can't just turn. I mean, I was about to say you can't just turn rubbish. You can. I've seen it happen, but usually that happens when a player gets older. Like Torres just literally left Liverpool. There was about 10 games at Liverpool where he ended up rubbish, and then after that he just fell off a cliff.
Raul
But usually
Morelos
it's the
was our
older
new
players.
goal scorer at the time.
Yeah, man. I actually remember a game when I thought it was over for Torres. We played against Wolves, and I don't know if we won the game. My memory's mad, yeah. You know, that lineswoman, Sean. She was like the first lineswoman in the Premier League. It was her first game. That's all I remember. And I think you're right. I think Morales scored a banger in that game, but Torres was terrible, bro. And ever since that day, he was pants, bro. And then Chelsea brought him, and then everyone's going crazy. And I was like, bro, this guy's fell off a cliff, bro.
Yeah.
So,
And then he went back to Madrid and then went to AC Milan.
yeah, his record is terrible after Liverpool. Everywhere he went, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But he scored a Champions League semi-final goal, man, when Gary Neville had the orgasm. So
I remember watching that on the TV.
no self-respect that man's got for that moment, man. He's lucky I like him, man, because that was terrible, bro.
Arsenal had like how many
absolutely
chances? They had like, was it like 8 chances they had? Hit the post, penalty saved, and then it was unbelievable.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. Everyone thinks of that game as like Chelsea were all over Barcelona. There wasn't. There wasn't, bro. I think Barcelona put PK up front for the last 20 minutes, and they just couldn't score. That's the reason why Torres was able to run on goal, because there was no defenders. I think it was two. What was that guy? Is it Ramirez? It was that Brazilian Ramirez who used to play for Chelsea. He scored a banger in that game against Barcelona, and then finished them off, man. But
well, so let's just have a little chat about Darwin Nunez first, because we're going to talk about a lot of players in the team.
Yep.
And get to my main point as well in a minute, which I'm going to ask you guys as that question. But let's talk about Darwin Nunez for a second, because everyone's bringing him up at the moment. So, personally, when I've watched Darwin Nunez play this season, and we got to remember, he hasn't actually played a lot. Got suspended for 3 games due to his only DSC. Yep. But then when he has played, it's like, I think someone looked it up and it was like 30 minutes one game, 30 minutes the next game, 25 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that.
Longest game he's played is the Crystal Palace game where he got sent off. That's the longest game
he's not played a lot of minutes yet for this football club. So I've got to give him that. Secondly, he's got to grow up a bit. He's got to mature a little bit. That's fine. So, he's 23, 24.
Yeah.
Got to grow up a little bit. But the third thing is, I watch him closely because I know everyone's judging him. So I watch him closely. He makes fantastic runs that I never found.
Yeah, he does. Great movement.
His movement is fantastic. And like I keep saying with Darwin Nunez, he doesn't want to be part of the play. He doesn't want to do build up. That's not what his game is. He's not Bobby Firmino. He's just not Bobby Firmino. The man, build up he would do is maybe chest it off or chest control it, bring it down, pass it off and get in the box. That's about the most he wants to do. Same with Haaland. Yeah. That's all Haaland wants to do.
Yeah.
Chest it down, control it, play it off, make a beautiful run into the box and get on the end of a lovely pass by a De Bruyne or a Gundogan or someone like that, or a Foden. So he puts it into an empty net. That's what Darwin Nunez wants to do. Darwin Nunez is not as an elite as obviously as Haaland is, but he's still a good footballer. You don't do what you did at Benfica last season if you're trash. Let's just put it that way. His movement was phenomenal. He's got great movement. If you go back and look at his season at Benfica, just look at his movement. But the thing at Benfica was he was there the year before as a baby. I think he was like 21, wasn't
he? Yep.
And he was getting used to his team, used to his play, who he was playing with. Scored a few, assisted a few, weren't great stats. And then the following season, he just erupted because he got used to the people he was playing with. The people playing you got to get used to when that player's going to make that pass. So Salah never looks when Trent's going to play the pass no more. He just knows and goes. Well, he used to anyway. And you get used to it. Like Mane, when he was at the club, he had Robbo. He knew what Robbo was going to do. Mane could move because they played with each other for so long.
Yeah.
Darwin's got to get used to what we're playing with at the moment. But the problem is, Darwin's playing with scraps behind him at the moment. Let's be fair. He's playing with scraps behind him.
Bro.
Hendo is on one leg. Fabinho has issues of his own at the moment. And he's not that midfielder anyway. He's a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Elliot, that is not Elliot's game.
Yep.
So, and everyone else is injured. When Thiago gets more into fitness and Artur gets into more fitness, and they start to play more with Fabinho, they will find the passes that Darwin Nunez needs. Mo Salah tries to find Darwin Nunez. I give Mo credit. He does try and find him, and he's trying to work him out. But Darwin likes to run the channels. That is why Mo's playing so wide at the moment. Apparently, there was a quote going around from Pep Linders saying the reason of Mo's positioning right now is to get the most out of Mo's player. What was it?
His creativity to unlock his
creativity. Yeah, his creativity and stuff like that to help basically Darwin Nunez because he's playing in the middle. So at the moment, Darwin's playing with a team that's not in no form whatsoever. So I don't know why everyone expects Darwin to be in form at the same time. No one's in form. No one's in form. Yep. And if he's a striker that likes running the channels, if everyone else is in bad form behind you and injured and can't really play them passes, then what's he meant to do? He's not a striker who's going to pick it up deep like an Mbappe to take 2 or 3 people on and put it in. That's just not his game. He needs feeding, and at the moment he's starving. And we need players behind him, Andrew, don't we?
Yeah, obviously I agree with you on that one. I think obviously, like I said, said on Connor's channel, on the comments, so I agree with you with Thiago. When he come on against Napoli, won every single tackle. He's probably our best defensive midfielder right now. And I think, obviously, I know I've read Arthur and Fabinho when they've played together for Brazil, they've won the last 6 games with when they've played together. And I think if you play Fabinho, Arthur, and Thiago, if they're all once they're all fully fit to play, I think that could really help us. And I think with Salah playing out wide, I think they should change. I don't know, say to Salah to maybe come in a little bit more to help Darwin. Maybe 2 strikers play Salah and Darwin up top, and then play Diaz left, and then Harvey potentially right.
Yeah, it's not a bad shot.
And look, I know everyone's saying, did we need to buy a striker because you got Jota there? But then everyone keeps moaning that we don't have options.
Yeah, Jota got injured last season, so we clearly would have.
And I know people keep saying this Mane thing. Mane's not actually pulling up trees at Bayern.
No.
He's not actually pulling up trees at Bayern. I think Bayern have drawn their last 3 games as well. He's not exactly, smashing.
Jamie, people seen him score in his first game, seen him smiling and just said that everything was great at Bayern Munich without going to actually check, man. It's lazy.
Yeah. I mean, and look, Mane was playing as soon as January hit. Mane was playing centre forward, not left wing, and for the majority of his Liverpool career, played left wing. Now Luis Diaz has come in, and he's doing Mane stuff at the moment, ain't he? You remember when we had games where Mane would take the game by the scruff of the neck and do something ridiculous?
Yeah.
That's what Diaz is doing at the moment. So Diaz is doing Mane things. So if we look at it in Mane's career at Liverpool, he was a left winger. He played 4 months in centre forward position. Now, I can understand people saying, look, what's your opinion on the Darwin thing, Savage, as well? Before we get into more.
All right. If you heard what I said not long ago, this is not made up just because you brought this up. I was literally watching Darwin games earlier. I try not to watch, the highlights weren't too short. They were a bit more extended. And I remember you've been saying for the whole time about playing it through the channels and stuff like that. And when I watch these games, one, you can tell that he was the man at Benfica, and so everyone knew what he was doing. Promise, bro. One thing I've realized is he can definitely play with the ball. He can definitely, as much as in Liverpool, we don't need him to get involved in that. He can do it, but it's one or the other for him. So he on all the Benfica games I watched, he was drifting out to the left hand side, pretty much where Diaz's spot is now, taking the ball and running with it himself. And he's either playing a 1-2 and he's banging it in the bottom corner. I promise you, if anyone goes and watch Darwin's highlights, nearly all of the goals are in the same spot, from the left side to the right. You know that goal he scored against us? It's the same. That goal is a regular goal he was scoring, pushing people out the way and that. There was a few up front, in the centre forward spot and stuff like that. But when I watch them goals and then I watch how we've been feeding him so far, and it's only been 3 games he's had. It's been 3 Premier League games. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist. And the games have been all over the place because we've not been good. We've not seen him with a good Liverpool team yet. When we did have a good Liverpool team, the one game was against Man City. He scored and he played fine. Played fine when he came off the bench against Fulham as well. I think it's way too early to be judging him in a certain way. You can always judge somebody and go, oh, he doesn't look like he's got a good touch there. But at the end of the day, people can have off games, innit? Because let's be honest, man, if we took the last snippet of the year with Mane and Salah and we didn't watch anything before that, you'd think that they don't have good touches either. I watched that was what was the problem. What happened to Mane? His first touch had gone. The ball was bouncing off his shins and stuff when he's trying to control it. And everyone's got the blinkers on because we did so well last season. And I'm on record saying that when everyone was saying, the Ballon d'Or and that, I was like, no, that's how you know the Ballon d'Or would be rubbish. If Mane had got it would have been based on him winning African Cup of Nations and stuff. But as the best footballer in the world, there was no way. Not last season. He got the goals for us, clutch, but he wasn't playing good. So I don't understand why Darwin comes in. Everyone's talking about the price tag, where clearly that price tag doesn't mean anything anymore. Has everyone just seen the transfer window we just had? Do you see how much Man you pay for Anthony? That price tag doesn't mean anything. That 60 whatever million is 40 million now. Lesser players are going for big prices, so it doesn't really matter. I think you should give him more of a chance. I think when he's got better midfielders behind him, he will. Right now, everyone's wanting him to be 1-in-1, innit? He gets 1 shot, scores 1 goal straight away. That's fair enough, innit? But it's not realistic. It's not realistic at the beginning of his Liverpool career. He's still quite young. Because Salah's not a 1-in-1 player. Salah's about numbers. You give Salah 5 shots, he might score 1 of them. He might not score any, and that's how it works. So everyone's expecting Darwin to have these half weird chances from a shit cross, or the ball just falls to him randomly and then to score on that. Now, his touch has looked off. But as I said, man, it's been 3 games. One of the games, Everton was 80 minutes. Crystal Palace was 50-something minutes, 60-something minutes. Fulham was 28 minutes or some rubbish like that. Like, come on, man. I've never seen Liverpool fans do this before, ever. Like, this is not a thing what we do. Leave this to the other shit fan bases, bro. We have never been this team where we're judging a geezer and saying his shit after 3 games, bro. It's weird. It's very strange, bro. Like, if Darwin Nunez came out of the Liverpool academy and was the same age now and played for Liverpool and had the same games he had, nobody would be saying this. So just give the man a chance, bro. Because as we know, I don't agree with it, but the game is the game and the world's changed in it, and people look at social media and stuff like that. But I'd hate to be thinking that this geezer looks on social media, can't even speak English properly yet, and all he sees is Liverpool fans saying his shit. Don't care if Man U fans or whoever says his shit. Let them banter us and that. We protect him as our player like we protect anyone else. But if he's looking online and everyone's got a reach now, man, you get me? You do a good thumbnail, they'll see it with his face on it. And it's like it's a Liverpool fan saying his shit after 3 games. Nah, man, I don't think that's the case. But we have to play to his strengths and that. Start whapping the ball into him just because he's tall. And yeah, man, give the man a chance, bro. Because like I said, I've seen the games. I checked he plays off that left side more than anything, and he has to build up a play. Then you know what I mean? He's got to learn how to speak flipping English properly first. Same with Diaz and Robbo. You know, Diaz trying to communicate with Robbo on the left side. He looks like disjointed on it. Yeah. Robbo's got strong Scottish accent, and Diaz can't speak English properly, and now Nunez can't speak English either. And so it's all over the place. So I don't know. It's a bit mad one.
This Mane clutch thing.
In
previous years, it was true. Last season, it was a myth.
What is Gang and Deep say? So I disagree that.
No, Gang Deep's cool. Gang Deep's cool.
No, I didn't read his comment. That's all.
Yeah, Mane about being clutch.
Being clutch and playing good is 2 different things, though.
He weren't clutch last season, though.
Jota came in clutch loads of games, and I've seen people slagging him off in team ratings after the game. So
yeah. But Mane weren't clutch last season.
No, he wasn't.
Didn't score in Champions League final.
You see that?
In the FA Cup final.
You see that bright red mark there?
Yeah.
That's the left-hand side of the pitch. That's Nunez from last season at Benfica.
There you go.
How bright? That's what I'm saying, bro. It's madness, bro.
But yeah, Mane didn't score in the FA Cup final, the League Cup final, the Champions League final. And, you know, he was clutch in his Liverpool career, but last season he wasn't. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But in his Liverpool career, he was proper clutch. But not last season. Nowhere near. Cavs in the house as well.
Hey, how you guys doing? Man. Come on.
Good. John, you had your say, mate?
I agree with everything Savage said there. Literally everything. Nunez needs the ball to feet. If you don't give them the ball to feet, we're playing Nunez like we have played against Peter Crouch. Crouchy, okay. Cross the ball and get on his head. Nunez is not that kind of player. Give the guy the ball to feet. Let him show what he can do. Play him in behind the defenders. Why we're wasting his talent. And people judging him after 3 games, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. I don't even think he's played 3 games total.
It's not 3 whole games, no.
You remember talking 2 games max?
Mm-hmm.
So to judge him after 2 games, and it's only 2 full games. He's getting maybe 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. What's he meant to do? I understand that partly his fault for doing the headbutt, but you can't judge him. It's too early.
Yeah.
But KZ says it here as well. People were pretending that Mane wasn't finished to the point he had to be moved to centre forward.
That's true. That's why he played there, because the left wing he was done on. You know what I'd love to do, man? I'd love to
he's only played 176 minutes total in the Premier League.
There you go.
There you go, man.
That's mad, isn't it?
It's a ridiculous player after
Veron was world class in pre-season, wasn't he?
Oh, man, this guy
he always was.
He came back for the Legends game last season, bro. I was so confused.
El Hadj Diouf was actually better in pre-season. El Hadj Diouf.
He was great in international football as well.
Yeah,
and then he turned out.
Then he started spitting on people and pissing off my captain.
Yeah, exactly.
The fucking scumbag.
How you doing, Kev? How you
I'm
doing?
sorry, but he is. I'm wrong. He is a scumbag.
No, he's a scumbag. Yeah, the biggest scumbag, no doubt about it.
I'm very well, Jamie. Thanks for asking. I'm doing good. Yeah, bit of a late one, but I thought I'd drop in, seeing as the guys were here. So,
Come on.
It's all right, man. Sorry, I can't hear shit, so I can hear you all. It's just that my earphones are fucked. It's like completely and utterly effed. And someone's knocked my picture down. Motherfuckers, what is going on? I fucking hate kids. Not my bloody Liverpool champions. Oh, fucking. I think players like Virgil, Trent, and Salah deserve more heat than Darwin. Yeah, I agree. And we're going to go on about a certain player right now. Trent Alexander-Arnold. The fuck just happened to Trent Alexander-Arnold? Like, literally.
He's most of the season.
So I put a title to this video. Obviously, it's the Liverpool show. And I put the title to this video. It's the main problem because I don't think the players are coming in with enough heat. Everyone else is getting blamed, but I don't think the players are getting enough of the blame. I'll put this out to everyone first. And if you agree on it, state why you agree. If you don't agree, state why you don't agree. But I'll go to you, Andrew, first. This is a whole thing of the thing. And everyone in the chat, you can have your opinion as well. Have the players lost their hunger?
I probably agree with that. I think obviously due to the fact, like obviously last season we were electric, had loads of we were hunger for everything. This season we've dropped off a bit, and I don't know what it's down to, but whether it's something to do with what's up, I think something behind the scenes has gone on. I don't know what. Well, I can't explain. But I want it's been one of them seasons for every club, I think, hasn't it? But I think this with us, I don't know.
A lot of clubs in the Premier League have had. Not every club. I mean, Arsenal probably look the best out of everyone. Everyone's had iffy moments, and you're correct. But
and they're shit.
I will look. I look at these players, and most of these players in this squad, especially the ones that look like, I'm not going to say they're down in tools or anything, but they're off it. There's something not quite right with them. They're all the players that have won everything at the football club. So that's my question, Savage. You can't. Have they lost their little bit of hunger, their little bit of drive? Also, are they still listening to the manager?
Is that to me?
Yeah.
I don't think they've lost their hunger. But I do think mentally they're exhausted. I feel like everyone over the years has put too much emphasis on this this mentality monster bullshit, to be honest, including Klopp. And he was bringing in psychologists and all this stuff to work with the players. That was before we even went on last season. That was the season before and the season before that when we won the league and the Champions League. And maybe this was the time to bring somebody in because the disappointment of last season in terms of listen, it doesn't matter what anyone says on it. The players know what their aim is. When you ask them at the beginning of the season, they're always going to say the Champions League at the Prem. When pundits or they're getting interviewed, I seen Gary Lineker asking Trent before, would you take the Prem or the Champions League? I think it was before we won the Champions League, I think maybe, or before we won the Prem, whichever. Didn't ask about the League Cup or the FA Cup. They're massive things, but pressure in football's changed now, isn't it? Everyone's after the biggest trophies and stuff like that. And I don't know how to put it into regular life or what everyone else has been through in certain aspects where we're trying to get to somewhere, but we were so far behind Man City that they had to take everything they had to try and catch up with them and hope that Man City dropped points themselves and done something wrong. Then got into the position where we're getting closer to winning certain things and we got into finals. And then we got one trophy down and they're like, okay, we wasn't even thinking about this because we was trying to chase Man City down. Now we got to move on to the next one. The exhaustion of like 2 finals where I went to penalties, mentally that's going to take out you anyway. And then just thinking you got so close to something. And if you guys, I don't know if have you seen that clip where Real Madrid team's lifting up the trophy, but somebody's recording Trent from behind his head. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a point of view of Trent, and he's watching him lift, and he looks so disappointed when he walks off. Obviously, everyone will be disappointed. It's easier for it in a weird way. It's obviously easier for Klopp to say, and he could be lying. He could be pissed off when he gets home, but it's easier for him to say, "But the trophy but the Istanbul next year, and we'll come again." And it's fine him saying that. That's what I want my manager to do, isn't it? But he's not the one on the pitch, bro. His disappointment and the players' disappointment is 2 different things. He was mentally telling them what to do and trying to get them over the line. These lot were running their ass off and trying to get these points back and stuff. And then you have the emotions of the last game of the season when you can see we're playing against Wolves. I can see Salah asking fans as Villa scored his Man City. And then Man City go snatch it from you at the end and you're like, fuck's sake, okay, we get over this because we've got a game against Real Madrid. At least this will make up for our season. Then they get to that and then you could tell they looked tired in that game. And on top of that, Courtois had the game of the season. I don't even want to diss the strikers for not scoring in that game. The chances, some of them, like, man shouldn't have been saving it. So then you come out of that as well. And then it's like pre-season break. Forget everything we just done. Go on holiday, enjoy yourself. It doesn't work like that, bro. Because when we lose football games as a fan and your missus wants to go somewhere with you for food, all I'm thinking about is Liverpool. It doesn't matter what she says to me. That's all I'm thinking about. So can you imagine the person on the football pitch, bro? So they come around to this season, and like you can feel how you feel. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna do all right this season and stuff like that. But then stuff don't work out, and then the system's changed a little bit, which is the right thing to do. But I can almost guarantee that if we didn't win anything last season, and then we changed the system with Nunez and stuff, that this season we probably would be better already. But the fact that we came off the back of what happened last season, I think the boys are just, some of them are exhausted mentally more than anything, because physically the sports scientists can tell you if you fucked or not. But you can't get into no one's psyche, and you know what I mean. And they're all a bunch of men in it. You know what I mean? Oh, how you feeling? I'm sad about last season. Who's gonna say that? I get paid 250 grand about a week, and that, but I'm sad about last season. Everyone's just gonna tell you to get on with it. Yeah, so there has to be some leeway mentally with what people are saying, man. Because any other sport, when you talk to people in the Olympics or tennis players and stuff like that, they go through the same thing, but they're one-man sports usually and have to deal with it themselves. This is a team, innit? So that's why you can watch them look happy in training and chilling, and they all look like best friends and stuff.
Sorry, Savage. I've just seen the chat. Oh, Jesus.
Somebody was thingy in it.
Spamming
with John's face.
Right, I'm gonna get off now, lads. So thanks for having me on, Jay.
No worries.
Big up, Andrew.
No worries, man.
I'll DM you tomorrow.
Big up, bro.
Yeah, see you later, Andrew. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy.
But yeah, I think that's it. And I think with different, that's one thing, and then there's loads of different things around it. Getting used to a system and feeling tired mentally, and then different players have different issues on it. So everyone keeps saying that Virgil's looking out for the World Cup. We don't know that. We're just speculating that he's looking out for the World Cup. But what I do know is Virgil said, I'm not going to the Euros, when he could have still went. He wasn't injured when the Euros was on. He chose not to go in it. So, you know, of course he wants to play in the World Cup, but he's not dumb. Like, not playing good in the league, you think you're going to carry good form over to the World Cup? You're not. You'll be shit for Holland as well, against better players probably. So I don't think that's it with Virgil, but he did have that mad injury. He is getting older. And when we're talking about engaging certain tackles and stuff like that, he might all of a sudden now be thinking, shit, should I go in for this tackle or should I do what I usually do? And it's not working for him as much because he's probably lost a half yard of pace. With Trent, there's a few things in it. The regular system we play is easier for Trent to play. This one is a little bit different. And on top of that, the man's packed on some muscle, bro. And I can imagine that his legs probably feel heavy at certain parts of the game. And then he's just saying, I'm not running. I want him to bust his ass and fall over if he has to, whether you got heavy legs or not. I don't know, man. He might need to lose some of that muscle, bro, and sort himself out. Because his performances have been like, he's the one person I can't find an excuse for. It's ridiculous, bro. Not running.
They've been devastating. Big up to Neil as well with the super chat earlier. Play Nunez left, Salah central, and Diaz right. I think that's from your heat map of Diaz.
Heat map of
That's another thing Darwin might be struggling with because he does like to pull to the left. I remember when he played against us, pull to the left.
Pull to the left every time.
Heck of a lot. The problem is you have a left winger who occupies the left-hand side and then comes inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why, because a lot of people said in the Napoli game, when Darwin came on, he actually played left wing, didn't he? And Luis Diaz went through the number 9 position. So, yeah, there might be some. I think they're just trying to figure it all out. I think the team are just trying to put this puzzle together. And I think once they put it together, I think something will happen. But it's just getting there.
Just with regards to the positioning, Jamie, we might be better off doing something that we don't usually do with the front three and have them change position within the game. For a long time, it's been very strict that Mane's on the left, Bobby's up the top, and Salah's on the right. It might be a situation now to keep the opposition guessing. You move the guys around. You know, you start off with Diaz on the left, Nunez up top, Salah on the right. But at some points in the game, whether it be natural because of, you know, they were trying to, usually off corners and stuff, players get switched around and stuff, or whether it's by instruction, the lads just interchange a bit, because I think that's something that maybe would help Salah out as well when he's being marked out of a game, which we see more and more often. It's just switch the boys around. Just let Diaz go on the right for a bit and let Salah have the freedom to roam if he wants to roam, or go on the left and just mix it up, because you see the opposite. You see other teams in the Prem do that. We seem to not want to, and I think it's.
Cav, do you think? I don't know if they've been told that already. You know, because the first 2 games Diaz done that. He went over to Salah's side. He just didn't stay there very long, but there was like 10 minutes where he swapped.
10 minutes.
I think Diaz, with the way he plays, and we've seen it recently, like him just wanting to take the onus on himself to grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
When Mane, Salah, and Bobby were in their best, you know, as a combination, they are arguably the best 3 in European football at one time. You know, they were tremendous together. They were swapping here, there, and everywhere all match, all the time.
Fluid. Like what De Bruyne does at Man City, he doesn't really have a position, does he?
They're set up, Salah right, Mane left, Bobby in the middle. But during the game, Bobby will end up on the right, Salah in the middle, Mane, and then they'd swap all the time. There was constant fluid. That's why they're hard to play. That's why they're hard to play against. Oh, we got more.
Flipping hell, bruv.
Oh, we got Cav. That's brilliant.
Have I missed it? I think I might have missed it.
Have you missed it? I put it on the screen if you can't see it. There you go.
Cool.
Jesus Christ.
Am I missing something here?
You're not there. I'll put it on the screen. There you go.
It's not that.
These people are making this on the job, you know.
I know. They're just doing this like, oh, Jamie's live. They're making Google accounts like that. It takes me half hour to make a Google account. Got multiple emails ready to go. Oh, that did happen to me though when I was 14. I'm not gonna lie. But with Trent, I think Trent might have fallen into the thing of stardom a little bit. I think that's what Trent might have fallen into a little bit. He might have just felt into a bit of stardom, a little bit of. Look, it's natural. If you're a young kid in your 20s or in your in your 20s, and you're earning ridiculous money and you're playing for a massive football club and you're known all around the world, everyone knows you. You know, you got the world at your feet. You can get a bit ahead of yourself, can't you? It happens. There's nothing wrong with it. It happens. You just need a bit more grounded. And I don't know if that's happening with Trent at the moment, especially when you see his Instagram photos and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And he's like modeling shots that he's doing and things. And so, like someone said earlier, I want buzz cut Trent back. You know, that player that just wanted the. Because I've been saying it, like when I look at Trent, it's like football's the last thing on his mind when I watch him at the moment. It's like football's the last thing he wants to do. Because it's not because he's not even doing the bit that we all rate him for. either. No, we all rate him for the forward part of his game, but he's not even doing that at the moment. It's
With
like
Trent, man. No Henderson, no party, bro. I'm telling you.
But we can't play like that. We can't play like that.
Hendo's been babysitting him since he's been in the squad, bro.
We can't. We got to go. William Klopp needs to sort it out.
Yeah, he does. Because Harvey ain't going to do what Hendo does.
Because you can't keep playing Hendo. You can't play Hendo so Trent can just stay in the team. That's
Jamie. That is literally what's been happening, bro. It's mad, isn't it?
It needs to change now.
When everyone was moaning about Henderson playing and like, oh, why is Hendo playing again? I'm like, because Trent's playing, bro. What are you talking about? Every time Trent goes forward, Hendo takes that spot. Now we've got a dead midfield and everyone's falling apart. Hendo had to move across. Hendo was playing in the 6. He's playing on the left side. And then you're like, okay, you want Harvey to run back and help Trent every 2 seconds. Because Harvey's doing what normal, like people in that position normally do. He defends as much as people normally do. Whereas Hendo goes all out to protect Trent. And that you've seen it with them 1-2 goals. What we've seen, what are exactly the same. You look where Harvey's positioning as well. It's kind of like his wasn't the best either, but Hendo would have ran his ass off to try and throw himself in front of the ball. People wonder like, how old's Hendo? 31. Yeah, but he's not 31. 31 is he? He's like a 36-year-old 31 because his legs are. Bro.
Rod, what the fudge are you doing over there?
Rod's he's putting his dishes away.
Rod's going to get caught on Pornhub because he never puts it on mute, man.
I'm going to mute Rod because he sounds like he's smashing plates.
Sounds like Tom and Jerry, innit? You know when Tom just smashing up the
kitchen. Up the dishwasher.
I know the sound plays.
What do you mean?
Well, I told him, boy, you better
just
do that.
Carry on, man.
So I told him, you better do that dishwasher before you go live. You better.
Listen, I'll put it on dishwasher and listen to you interesting guys talking sense. So carry on, man. Carry on. I'll be back. You
go do your dishes.
Can I just add something to the Trent point, Jamie?
I'll put a mute.
Go on, hang on. Let me play back Neil's super chat. All play a 4-4-2 with more space to operate up front. Big up Neil for the super chat once again. I think we spoke about that the other day about playing 4-4-2, and you're correct.
Yeah.
But go on, Tav.
I'm just trying to think about it now as I say it. Is there a player in world football that has as much pressure as Trent? Because when you really think about it, right? Yeah, but not really, because
maybe once your Ronaldo argument again.
Oh, don't start this. Maybe once upon a time. But you got to think for Trent, right? He has like a responsibility being a local lad, playing for his club. There's a bit of pressure there, pressure from your family and your friends. He doesn't escape Liverpool really, even when he goes home, everything. Okay. Then on the pitch, he's expected to not only defend but be a main creator. There's a young lad that's played in big games, the biggest games you possibly can, and he's won it all. The pressure to compete with the guys at right back to get in an England squad, there's just so many things when you really think about it, both on and off the pitch. You could even say, when the season had finished, he was probably drained like the rest of the players. There's probably a pressure for him to think that as a 23-year-old lad that's got everything he could want, to try and enjoy himself and have a good summer before coming back. It sounds mental, but when you experience success, you realize that pressures can come from different angles. And I just think he looks like a lad that just needs a bit of a break from everything. Like, I think he looks like somebody that if he could click pause and just rest for a bit and not listen to all the outside influences and people talking to him constantly about football, Liverpool, not have to play all the time, train all the time. He looks like a guy that just needs a bit of a rest, to be honest. It's understandable for a guy that's 23. Yeah. And
what injury did he have before the Euros, bro? Do you remember the injury he had before? When he couldn't go to the Euros? What injury was that?
Was it a calf?
Was it a calf injury, wasn't it? Was it a calf injury?
Cav is right, though, because I will say about Trent, when, he's not, from what I see of him anyway, even when he does, YouTube stuff or things like that, he's not really, the typical, party dude and all that. He's with his family all the time, isn't it? I think it still lives with his mum and dad and that, bro. Like, it seems like he's just chilling all the time playing FIFA and that. So I don't even think it's anything like that, man. But there is one part. There's one part like having pressure and maybe putting in some shit crosses and that. But I just think when it comes to running after people and that, there's no excuse for that. That's just being a footballer. That's like football 101. Run your ass off.
Trent's lazy. Everyone here
he's lazy.
Everyone here in the chat, everyone watching Trent knows he's lazy. There's nothing stopping him running back apart from himself.
Nothing.
And that's the only person. He's just lazy. He always has been, though. Watch him back.
Exactly, bro.
Back. Trent's always been the same. This is nothing new. But the thing with Trent, though, I always allowed it because what he did going forward won us more games than him losing us games with the way he defended. So I allowed it. Everyone allowed it. Because him going forward at the time, there's arguably anyone better as a fullback going forward. I mean, even like rivals can admit that. At the time, in that couple of since he's been at Liverpool, I'd say apart from this season, since he's been at Liverpool in the Liverpool team under Jurgen Klopp, going forward, what he does with his ability on the ball, there's hardly anyone better in his position. So we allowed it for his defensive mistakes and his laziness getting back. We all allowed it. We didn't mind it because what he gave us. So we didn't mind. But at this moment in time, he's doing nothing. He's not doing the forward stuff. He's not doing the defensive stuff. Go on, John.
You need to bear in mind, Trent isn't a natural defender. Trent is actually a midfielder.
He's a midfielder, yeah.
So I don't think Trent wants to be a right back. He wants to play in that midfield role.
That's what I said the other day.
So you can't really criticise him for his defending. He's playing in a position that isn't his natural position. Was he good? Is he good at it? Yeah, he can play there, yes. That doesn't mean it's his natural position. So you can't really criticise him for his defending when that isn't his job.
Yeah.
John, do you think though that like what everyone used to criticize Trent for, obviously most of the time it's other fan bases because we know he can defend, was his defending? What we're talking about this season, it's not like it looks like it's defending, but we're not. We're just saying you're being lazy, bro. Like that's not defending. That's if he was in midfield doing the same thing. Why are you not running, bro? Like,
right, but the difference is if he was playing midfield and you would have another right back there in place, then you wouldn't need Trent to chase back because you would have that right back sitting there.
Yeah.
So because there is no right back sitting there to chase the ball back, that puts him under the microscope.
Wouldn't you be pissed at him being lazy in midfield though? Because I've seen Fab do stuff and I was moaning about Fab the other day being lazy as well.
No, I'm not saying he's not lazy, but what I'm saying is getting noticed a lot more because you don't
that's
right
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So if you had a right back there, then it wouldn't be as noticeable as what it is.
So I'm more like lenient. I said it. I think Jamie done a stream after the Champions League final, and I said this exact thing. This was before this season, and I said to Jamie in that stream, I said, in fact, it was before the Champions League final because I said eventually it's going to cost us big things. I said at the moment going forward is overtaking all the stuff, the deficiencies he has at the back. But even with that, because I know that he's not naturally a great defender, when it's stuff like not looking over his shoulder and stuff for Mitrovic's header or not catching Vinicius at the back post, I would rather take that than watching this guy stop running, bro. And it's not like I'm asking him to sprint. It's literally it's 5 yards away, and he's given up already. Back. And it feels like he's saying, "It's gone past me now. You lot deal with it. Whoever's there, Virgil, Alisson, Gomez, or Matip, you deal with it. It's past me now." With Fab, Fab looks like his legs are not allowing him to do it. With Trent, because Fab's trying and he's just not getting there. With Trent, I'm like, bro. Even if we just go off this season alone, I've seen it in 3 games minimum where it's been like 100%. He chose
Fab gets no help in midfield. Who's there to help out Fab? There's no one there to help him.
This is because our midfield is deficient this season, of course. But like I said, no Henderson, no party. But when Trent plays without Henderson, he has to be more cautious defensively, and he chooses to just play exactly the same.
This is why I said my white horse thing the other day. When I said when we watched that, when Klopp watched that Napoli game without Hendo, he heard he's only out for 3 weeks. I said it's going to be like Hendo coming in on a white horse with his hair flowing in the wind, coming in with the sun behind him. Right, I'm back, boss, and he'll go straight back in the team.
The Hendo's done. The Hendo cannot start this midfield. He's done.
I guarantee you, Hendo will go straight back.
No, he will. 100%.
And this is some of the problems I have with everything. I mean, John heard me rant about this earlier. I'm starting to look at it now, and look, you got Tsimikas there for Robbo, right? I'm starting to think there's certain players in our team that it don't matter who you got as a replacement, Klopp won't rest them, won't change them. So Robbo has been a great servant to this football club, a great left back. He's still a great left back. There's no doubt about it. But the man's shattered. And
he is terrible. But he is terrible. But that does not make him a bad left back.
No, he's not a bad left back.
He's still a world-class left back.
He's just absolutely. He's just effed at the moment. And the problem is, Tsimikas' qualities are very equal to Robbo's. Let's face it. Right, they're very equal. Tsimikas is not in the best of form either, so I can understand that. But at the moment, Tsimikas is sharper and fitter than Robbo. Tsimikas has a better relationship with Diaz on the left-hand side. Football is a lot about partnerships, good partnerships. I've always said it. Gary Neville weren't the greatest right back in the Premier League when he was there. He just weren't. Mm-hmm. But he had a great relationship with David Beckham and it worked. Right? Yeah. The left back at Man City, we won't say his name because he's of things going on in his life, but we won't mention his name. Him and Sane at Man City couldn't play together because they played like he would get in, like Sane wouldn't come out of position for him to get into position, sort of thing. So they never played. So he played Zinchenko at left back, and it worked. Klopp has done this before. When Trent is our right back, and he's been our right back for a while now, since Nathaniel Klein got that big injury, Trent came in and he's never left.
Yeah.
But when Klein came back before he was loaned out, he was fit, couldn't get in the team, no matter if Trent needed a rest or was playing bad. Nico Williams, when he was at the club, couldn't get in, couldn't play a game. Natural right backs. More natural than Trent, you'd say. Couldn't get a game, couldn't get in. Guess who did? James Milner. James Milner would play at right back instead of right backs.
You're forgetting about one as well, Jimmy. You're forgetting about Connor Bradley.
Yeah.
Connor Bradley is a very, very good quality player, and he did not get a chance.
Klopp has got players that he likes, trusts, and adores, and there's a few of them, and they just won't rest them for nobody. Like nobody.
That's going to be
been proven, and it's been proven. Robbo was out injured. Tsimikas was in excellent form when he came in. Excellent form. Everyone was raving about him, saying how good he's been. How good he's been. Robbo, as soon as he's come back, comes in the team, and as soon as he comes in the team, his performances are not good enough. And we're going to lose Tsimikas because he's going to get fed up.
Yeah.
We don't rotate enough players when we did have players. That is just one of Klopp's weaknesses. It's not. It's a weakness. Everyone's got weakness. Every manager's got a weakness. I don't care what anyone says. It's just a fact. And Klopp's done this for a while. So when we say we've got to get this player in for that player, and we're all talking now, like Trent, you got to sort of play Hendo for Trent to perform. Well, you can't keep playing a 31-year-old Hendo to get the best out of Trent. And Hendo's legs ain't capable of playing the pressing game in the 8 no more. Because as soon as Hendo gets pressed, he he can't do the turn like he used to. He can't get out of the press anymore. No, that's why Harvey Elliott plays there, because when you see Harvey Elliott get the ball, he can play on the half turn. He can run into the middle of the pitch into space. You know, he can drag players along with him. Hendo can't do that anymore. The only one who presses in our midfield is Thiago. So Klopp's got to come to a way to get the best out of Trent without at the same time playing Harvey Elliott in midfield and giving up the best part of Harvey Elliott. You know, you can't make him a 6 and an 8 and say, right, you've got to cover Hendo's runs, because that's not what you want Harvey Elliott to do. You want Harvey Elliott to play his natural game. Same with Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones can't play his natural game in our midfield. This is why I know a lot of people hate Curtis Jones, and if you hate him, that's fine. I personally think he's a decent footballer that's not allowed to express himself. Well, it's not like he's not allowed. It's just you have a role in Liverpool's midfield that you have to play a 6 and an 8 at the same time. That's why the midfield get a lot of injuries, because you got to be able to defend as a 6 and attack as an 8. That is what Klopp wants in his midfield. And you don't really want a Curtis Jones and a Harvey Elliott to do that. You want them to express themselves and play the techie. They're young kids. Young kids want to play techie football. Young kids want to play give and goes, show what they're about. They don't want to be stuck in this, I've got to make sure I cover Trent's run sort of situation. So this is a thing that Klopp needs to change. So when he came out the other day and said, I can't remember the words he said, but he was talking about we've got to reinvent ourselves in a way, didn't he? I can't remember the word he said, but it's
did you watch the press conference after though? Because he said that in the interview, and then I watched the press conference after, and he elaborated on it. Anyone who's falling for that reinvention business, don't.
This is the problem. He shouldn't say it then. This is the thing.
No, because it's not his first language on it. If he elaborated on it 10 minutes later.
How did he elaborate on it? Because the words he used, I can't even use it, and I'm English. So
obviously, German's his first language, and sometimes he speaks a certain way. Because when the reporter asked him and said, "Klopp, what do you mean?" He pretty much was saying, "We need to go back to how we was before."
Sorry,
but that means if he means the way we go back before, that means Hendo's in the midfield.
We can't go back to the way we thought. We can't go back to that.
No,
because the fact that we can't, because the fact that in the day, so like the players that we got on our team and the thing that ain't able to play that way again. Do you know what I mean? It's like they had that Gergen pressing, fast move, and people like Hendo and the thing that, right? They're getting old. They can't move like that. Do you know what I mean? Can't ask Miller to move like that. Do you know what I mean? Can't ask Trent to move like that, because if you ask Trent to move like that, he's going to leave more spaces at the back. Do you know what I mean? I think personally, and I think that, right, I'm a person and they sort of like, I'm not a cop out. I'm not a cop out by any means, and I feel that. But I do think things have to change in his coaching staff. Whether he gets new coaching staff or the coaching staff coach a different way or something like that. But something has to change, because you see what it is and everything that, right? With him at the end of the day saying, look, at the end of the day, like, no matter what, I think that Robert's gonna play, and I think that no matter what Robert's gonna play, no matter what Hender's gonna play, no matter what Trent's gonna play, and I think that. Do you know what I mean? All these players at the end of the day that's gonna play no matter what. It's not good enough. It's literally not good enough, because you're seeing the players at the end of the day that literally out on their feet, and I think that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think as well what you're saying is true. You got like, oh, thanks, mate. Nice one. But I think at the end of the day, sort of like, even for like last season, I think that we played every game conceivable to man. Every game. That's what a lot of people don't understand. We played every game that was offered to us. We played all of the League Cup, all of the FA Cup, all of the Champions League, and we couldn't avoid not playing the all Premiership. Do you know what I mean? We played games and everything that. Something should have been in that team, and I think that to say, look, you know what, we're gonna refresh the team, and we're gonna bring in like 3 or 4 players. So Trent, you can have a more longer rest. Hendo, you can have a more longer rest. Salah, you can have more longer rest. Do you know what I mean? It's not rocket science and everything that, right? We're out on our feet. You see on Tuesday, Wednesday, and everything that, they look fucked. In the first 15 minutes, they looked knackered. They couldn't chase back. They couldn't do nothing. And then Napoli was scoring at will. Do you know what I mean? It's just, to me, at the end of the day, it just needs, something needs to be changed in that coaching staff, and Klopp needs to change his way of thinking as well, because he can't keep on playing the same players season in, season out, recycling them, and expect them to give you a performance. It is not going to happen. Seriously, it's not going to happen. I think that something needs to change. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, the whole philosophy needs to change. Do you know what I mean? Because we'll just be, what will happen, we'll be right back where we are now, discussing it and day, well, how come this player ain't doing that? How come that player ain't doing that? How come this player ain't doing that? Do you know what I mean? It's just, we're going to get nowhere fast. With Liverpool, it seems to me, and think that, since Klopp come in, and I think that, right, we have took 50 steps forward, but 100 steps back. This is what it looks like. 100 steps back, and for that, we solidified ourselves as, you know, a dynamic team, and, you know, brushing teams left, right, and centre. We was like only one that went to Old Trafford and beat them 5-0, 4-0 up in the first half. And I think that no team there, I don't think any team's really done that. Do you know what I mean? But then now we seem to gone back 2 or 3 years. It's not good. It's not good.
Do you know what Liverpool are right now? Liverpool are the Star Wars sequels. That's what Liverpool are. Liverpool are the Star Wars sequels. You want to get them back to the original. We're the Star Wars sequels. We're overused, overmade, makes no sense, and no one knows how to fix it.
Police Academy.
That's what Liverpool are right now. They're the Star Wars sequels. I'd love us to be the Star Wars prequels right now. That'd be an improvement. But yeah, there's stuff happening at this club that I don't know how we fix at times. Now everyone says obviously FSG could buy new players. Yeah, they could. Of course they can. They haven't done enough. I agree. But Klopp likes a particular player. It's as simple as that. Because you can't tell me all the midfielders that have gone around Europe that you can go and buy that could walk into our midfield right now. How can they not be good enough? And then you get Artur Melo on a last-minute thing that Klopp says we have been looking at. Everything's confusing. Everything's confusing. I don't get it. Klopp likes certain players. We know this. The Tuchemeni looks like it was a thing. Then Plan B was Bellingham. No one else. Plan B was Bellingham. I honestly think this is what Klopp wanted, an FSG, like the whole transfer committee and Klopp. I think this is what they wanted. But they wanted to get Tuchemeni in this summer and Jude Bellingham next summer. They're their two main midfielders, and then they will go have Harvey Elliott and Carvalho as the two youngsters around them, and then you have your experienced midfielders like Thiago Henderson and Fabinho as the experience with them, and that would have been their midfield next season. But they tried to get Tuchemeni, didn't work. He went to Real Madrid. I believe the club obviously asked Dortmund about his availability this summer. They said, no, he's not available till next summer. And that is why Klopp kept saying the right person. Because he knows there's midfielders there that could come into the team. But Klopp don't want to get rid of certain players because he wants to keep them players around to help the ones he wants to come in, fit into the side, keep them for a little bit, then let them go in a year or two and then get players in after. That's what I think. I think that's what we look to do over the next 12 months, but it's just not worked out that way, Cav. Don't know what you think.
Yeah, and like one of the perfect situations would have been if we'd assigned Nunez when Mane was still here, so that transition could have happened a lot more smoother. And we're going to have the same situation going into the following summer, whereby midfielders are going to leave and new midfielders are going to come in, and then there's that bedding in period again. It's not how you should. It's not the ideal way of doing it. Really, what you want to do is hold on to the guys that know the system and have been successful in that system for you, and then bring in the new guys and give them, a period of time, i.e. at least a season, to bed in and learn the system, and then they become the first team and it rolls on. But that's just not happening. So it's difficult. But with regards to like the tactics and what have you, like I agree. I think the coaches need to work on finding something that suits these players a bit better at this time. But we also just need to see the players playing better as well. Like, I don't know if these lads roll up against Chelsea, which looks like to be our next league game, and actually have been benefit from having the time off and being on the training ground together and start producing performances that we expect from them. Whether the system, then we still ask the same questions. If we see a good performance from the team and all the players putting the effort in, and we're still conceding the same kind of goals, then you go, yeah, okay, maybe we need to change the system around now to be a bit more defensively solid or to create more chances going forward or what have you. But at the minute, I don't know if changing the system really changes anything in terms of what we're getting results-wise, because I think the main thing is down to effort. I think that's just been a distinct.
That's what I was trying to say.
That's
exactly what I was trying to say, bro. I think if everything's gone well with the tactics and the formation and whatever, and everything's still going wrong, because there's been games where we've done previews and predictions, we've all picked the same team as Klopp. Then we go out on the pitch and I'm like, okay, we said the same thing. What's going on? And you just see that these men ain't even running anymore, bro. But John, go on, because I know John was wanting to speak, bro. Sorry, bro.
Go on, John, mate.
No, sorry, guys. I just want to bring up a comment that was said earlier on that I strongly disagree with. And I think it's actually a bit disrespectful as well. Someone said that Conor Bradley is just an average championship player. Right? If that was the case, would they have said the exact same thing about Andy Robinson? People said Andy Rabble was an average championship player.
Right.
And look what he's turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've watched Conor Bradley for years. This guy has quality.
He is.
Yeah, he just has not been given a chance. So I don't think you can. If a player hasn't been given a chance, you can't just disrespect him by saying he's an average championship player. Because look what Rabble did. Rabble's went on to become probably the best. Well, not at the minute, but he was the best left back in the world.
Yeah.
So that is just pure disrespect.
Sometimes it's lazy comments, bro. Because not everybody watches what they're saying.
You can't say that at all. The guy hasn't been given a chance.
Yeah,
most people probably haven't even seen him play a game.
Yeah.
So actually watch the guy
this player here, Jesus, the Georgian. I'm not going to pronounce his name. That Georgian player plays for Napoli. He is going to be serious.
He's outstanding.
They bought him for $8.5 million. Where was our scouting? Where was our famous scouting when this player was available for $8.5 million? This is another thing, right? I will say one thing with the Liverpool fan base, yeah. And this ain't about like even people in the chat and all that, but just the Liverpool fan base in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone wants Jude Bellingham, right?
Baller.
Everyone wants him, right? Everyone
wants him. He's incredible, bro.
Say the majority of the Liverpool fan base. Majority of the Liverpool fan base want Jude Bellingham, right? I've said this before. I didn't know much about him at Birmingham. I never even heard of him until they sold him to Borussia Dortmund, right? And then I looked into him. I can guarantee you right now, if Liverpool bought Jude Bellingham from Birmingham, the outrage on social media would be massive. Because everyone would be going, why are we buying this kid from Birmingham City?
Yep.
He played in the Championship or League One or wherever he was playing at the time. Why would he be bought this? Why are we buying this kid? Why are we buying a Championship player?
Jimmy.
Why are we buying a kid? The Liverpool fan base would have gone mental about it, wouldn't they? Let's face it.
Well,
they went mad when I said to boy's brother last season. Everyone said the same thing to me. His brother, I'm like, you ain't watched his brother play. His brother's a baller, bro.
Right.
Wasn't we linked with him when he was at Birmingham?
Who,
no.
Jude?
We was linked with him when he was at Birmingham. We was linked with him. I'm sure we was linked.
I don't know, man. I know we're linked with his brother last season.
Well, put this way: if Harvey Elliott was a Dortmund right now, how much would he be worth?
Yeah,
exactly. What are you asking for? 100 million.
True.
Is Harvey Elliott worth 100 million? No.
No.
So why would you waste 100 million on Jude Bellingham?
No midfielder's worth 100 million. I'm not buying midfield. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm with you on that. The problem is, John, you're making sense, but football ain't like that now. So saying wasting something on 100 mil on him, bro, that's how much all these guys are going to cost now.
We could have a Jude Bellingham at our club already with Cavallo, with Harvey Elliott. So why would you wait?
They play different football to him, though, innit? I don't know, man. The only one thing I can say in it, like, I can't. Anyone who's telling me that Jude's overhyped and that, bro, I'm telling you, bro. For me anyway, that's the midfield I'll take over. I'll take him over anyone, bro.
He's a top quality player, but he's not worth 100 million.
No midfielder is not even.
No, but that's my point though. It doesn't mean anything anymore. 100 million. That's like saying like Grealish isn't worth. People wanted Grealish
again, but we know our football club. We know FSG. Yeah. We're not going to go out and waste £100 million on a player.
Do you know what's mental though, John? Do you know what's mental? I actually see FSG buying Jude Bellingham for 100 million next summer.
Well, how much are they going to pay for Tuchel?
They're going to pay 60 mil for Tuchel, aren't they? Out of a dirty willy boot.
I'm telling you, it wouldn't show. I've gone on record and said numerous times, I think FSG will buy the player Klopp wants. And it doesn't matter the money. But Klopp only, as I keep saying, Klopp wants a certain midfielder. It's like, let me get to it in a minute. Let me just say what's good. Big up what's good for your super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Klopp/Linda's tactics are the problem, especially when the whole team's not performing. Why is Klopp using Milner as an advance 8? Fabas to cover two midfielders. Big up, my friend. You're correct. We agree. With you.
Just to add to that super chat, I agree with that. I'm not one for when you get a few bad results to think, oh, we've suddenly got to change the tactics, go 3 at the back and this and that. But rolling that midfield out and still keeping a high line against Napoli is criminal. Like in a one-off game when you're assessing what you've got and how you're going to approach the game, thinking the answer is that personnel with that tactics is just we were always going to get eaten alive in that midfield. So that's just poor decision making. Whoever decided that, and I suppose you have to lay the blame of Klopp on that one. To be fair, but John, just can I ask you a question? Just go back to your point about Jude Bellingham and the fee. Are you saying that you don't think he's worth 100 million, or are you thinking that? Are you saying that in terms of your opinion and whether you want Liverpool to buy him or whether that's a true value for him in today's market?
I don't think he's worth 100 million. I don't. I think he's maybe 60 max.
Okay.
But in this market right now, I can see the 100 million price tag.
Okay.
But I don't think he's worth 100 million. I'd rather go out and buy a 60 million player and then spend the other 40 on somebody else.
Yeah, look, I agree with John with that. But what I will say with transfers now, the way the transfer system is now, right now with players, it's all depending on what a club wants to buy him for and how much a club wants a player.
True.
They know, everyone knows certain players ain't worth what they're going for. It's just because they know.
Look at Anthony, the Man United.
Yeah, 100 million euros, whatever it is, ridiculous. But
how much
they know
does Sancho cost?
75 million.
From the
but
same
they know, and they know what it is, especially foreign teams at the moment. They know Premier League teams have got more money than any other teams in Europe. You know, apart from your PSGs and stuff like that.
But transfer window proves that, didn't it?
Yeah, and they go, right, Man United won, and I actually look at it and go, Man United won Anthony, 100 million euros. We know he's not worth that, but you got to pay it because you want him. That's the way the transfer market is at the moment. It's mad. So, but Borussia Dortmund will go, Bellingham, 100 million euros. We know he's not worth 100 million euros, Liverpool Football Club, but we know you want him, and we know you generate 600 million a year. So,
Jamie, that's what I was going to ask you. What is? I'm not even trying to be weird. Like, what is not worth it anymore? Like, what does that even mean? Because worth is only based on what someone's willing to pay and what someone's willing to sell it for.
Look at eBay. So, look at eBay. Just look at eBay.
Patman made a good point. Just he said Anthony Gordon couldn't even go for 40 million. So by that standard, Gibbs White went to Nottingham Forest how much?
44.
44.
45.
Jude Bellingham's worth 100 million. Then that's
Right,
my
but
point.
look this way, if you look at our owners, Jimmy, you said we make 600 million per season, right?
Well,
If Liverpool go out next summer and spend 100 million on Bellingham, which I don't think we'll do, I think he goes to Real Madrid. But if we do, he's going to be our only signing. We'll make one signing, that's it.
Yeah, I can agree. Yeah, it's true.
But like
That's true.
I've been saying, as if that's what Klopp wants, that's what Klopp gets. I've been saying it for ages. FSG will buy the players Klopp wants.
But we all know we need more than one signing. We can't just sign Jude Bellingham next summer.
Get a new manager then, because that's
Exactly.
I'm not being funny about it.
I don't understand the manager. I understand how much we can spend.
Klopp
Can we spend? Can we go out there and spend? Toxic next summer. Can we spend 200 million next summer?
Yeah. All right.
But again, a few weeks ago, I was talking to you a few weeks ago, and you said to me that had we went and bought a player at 50, 60, 70 million, Liverpool could be in trouble for doing so. So how can we spend 200 million next summer? We couldn't do it this summer.
If Klopp wants that player, FSG will buy Klopp that player.
Right, but so if we couldn't do that financially, your argument to me a couple of weeks ago was we couldn't do it financially. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe we can't. I don't know. Maybe we can't. I have told everyone.
If we couldn't do it this summer, why can we? Why don't do it next summer?
Because we got the money this summer, this year. The 600 million is from this year. Will go into next year because we'll generate the same amount of money. So that's a lot of money. 100 is too much that I can't count. So we generated this much. That's going to follow through to the next year, generating wise. So that's why I'm saying that we haven't been doing this. Like, this is my thing. What I always say about Man United, yeah, they've spent more money than anyone in Europe for 10 years. Everyone, because they generate so much money. I have not got a problem. But they stay in debt. I've got no problem.
You can manage that.
Yeah, I've got no problem with owners not spending their own money because not a lot of owners do. The owner that spent the most money in Europe is the Inter Milan manager, the Inter Milan owner, and Inter Milan are now in money issues. So it doesn't bother me. If you generate money, then release them funds to be spent.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to spend your own money. That's what FFP is.
Yeah, that's why FFP. That's why owners. That's why Man City never went and bought Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo because they could in figure their owners could go, oh, we'll just buy every Don that plays football around the world because I'm a trillionaire. But they can't do that because of FFP. You have to.
That's why if you sponsor yourself,
there's a big difference.
You
People
can,
aren't in
get
debt.
some money in on the side.
Yes, we're not in debt, and thank God we're not in debt.
Well, we are.
There's a big difference between being in debt and being in debt where it's manageable debt. Look at Spurs. Spurs are in debt, but they're managing their debt.
Yeah, we're in debt as well. We're in 100.
Man United can't. Man United can't manage their debt because there's so
Man, you're fucked, bro. You're right, Rods. If Glazers leave, Man, you're fucked.
Oh yeah, Glazers will sell it for like $3.5 billion. So
yeah.
But do you remember? I don't know if you guys remember, like years back. We'll talk about players' worth and everything like years back, and everything that Shearer went from Blackburn to Newcastle for 15 million, didn't he, or something like 15 million? And that was like big money at that time. Well, you look at it now. That's a drop in the ocean. What's 15 million going to get you now? Do you know what I mean?
Transfer.
The situation with Bellingham and think that, right? Dortmund was never going to sell two of their star players this season. Never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So really and truly, what we should have done and everything that, right? If we really wanted Bellingham, we should have gone in there and got Bellingham at the day before Man City when got Haaland, because they're never going to sell two of their star players and everything that. So when they couldn't get to the money and everything that, and they said, yeah, right, we turn to Bellingham and everything that, right? That was dead in the water because he was never going to go. Only unless that then you offered astronomical money and things like that. 120 or 130 million, and then they'll say, all right, then we'll let him go because the price is too great not to refuse that sort of money. Do you understand what I'm saying? That was never going to happen. Bellingham was never going to happen. So my argument is in this way, and I think that is it. You couldn't got Tielemani. You couldn't get him because he wanted to go to Real Madrid and everything that, right? Where was your plan B? Where was your plan C? You know what I mean? Where was your plan D? Where was your backup plans? Do you know what I mean?
Backup plan was Bellingham.
Yeah, but the fact that was never going to happen. Everybody can see that was never going to happen because Dortmund was never ever at the day, right? All right, for instance, that day, right? Like we sold Mane and from that this season and from that, right? Yeah. Could you see us selling Mane and Salah? Could you see that? See us selling Mane and Salah?
Only if Salah wants to leave. Salah would have to want to leave. If Salah wants to leave, then yeah.
So Salah will have to want to leave.
Jurgen Klopp's never told a player that wanted to leave.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, Salah will have to want to leave, and they will have to offer Liverpool astronomical amounts of money. They have to offer a lot of money to price Salah away. If not, Salah staying and think that. Same with Dortmund. Dortmund was never going to sell two of their star players like that in one window. It's just never going to happen. Only less than the day you offer X amount of money, and FSG would not spend that sort of money on a player. They won't do it. You know what I mean? They won't do it. I don't really blame them because I don't think Bellingham is worth 100 million. He's an amazing player, but he's not worth that money for that. But the fact is, there was no plan B, C, or D.
I agree with that. But the thing of everyone saying that they wouldn't pay it, this is what I'm saying. I think, look, Liverpool wanted Jude Bellingham this summer. They wanted him, so they were going to pay money for him, and it was going to be a lot of money. So they were going to buy him. So they were obviously going to buy him. That I think what it is with our club, yeah. I've said this for a while now. The club look at players with value they think the club think is worth it. All right? Say like Jack Grealish, yeah. Let's put Jack Grealish out there. Jack Grealish went to Man City for 100 million. Man City thought he was worth 100 million, and that is why they paid it. Liverpool Football Club would look at Jack Grealish and go, he's not worth nowhere near 100 million, so we're not paying it. Because you're not going to get out of him 100 million pounds worth of talent. It's not worth it to us, so they won't pay it. I think the club think Jude Bellingham is worth 100 million. And I think the club would pay it. This is where I think, because we were going to try and buy Jude Bellingham this summer. That was their
intent. Because his age alone with that talent makes up for like 30 mil of that weight.
Liverpool would have been looking at him thinking, Jesus Christ, his age alone, the talent he's got, we will buy him. So they were trying to buy him.
Right. So if we were going to buy Jude Bellingham this summer for 100 million, then why could we not afford to buy like a Umbrella or a Nunez?
This is what I'm saying.
Less money.
Klopp don't want them.
He doesn't want them.
Tielemani and Bellingham. That was his midfield option.
And everyone has to stop acting like Barella was going to be cheap as well.
No, but what chance of Barella?
Stop saying no. Then there's surely
never going to happen.
Charge where it goes, no, Jurgen, you need to listen here.
But Inter Milan have already said Bellingham won't go anywhere this summer either. I mean, it's just.
Bellingham was going to happen to this summer, I don't think. Bellingham was. Sorry to cut Cossi. Bellingham was going to happen this summer because of the fact that they were what I just said. Dortmund was not going to sell two of their main stars this summer. Yeah, you could probably have him next summer, but they wasn't going to sell the two stars this summer. In order for Liverpool to sort of like go and get Bellingham for that, they would have to have gone and got Bellingham before Man City got Haaland. Do you know what I mean?
That would have been possible though, Rod.
The problem
with that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't going to happen because of the fact that the day Dortmund was not going to sell two of their main stars this summer. That wasn't going to happen. They will sell one of their main stars. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. The only way that Liverpool could have got Bellingham in there if they went in for Bellingham before Man City got Haaland. That's the only way. They was not going to sell two of their main stars this summer and think that you could have Bellingham next summer, but you cannot have him this summer because they need him. They need him. It wasn't going to happen.
I guarantee.
Say we don't get Bellingham. Say Toxic, we don't get Bellingham next summer. Then what do we do? We can't rest all our hopes on Jude Bellingham.
I think we buy him. I think we get it done in January. I think we.
I think he goes to Real Madrid. I genuinely think he goes to Real Madrid.
No,
Real Madrid don't need Bellingham.
don't want him.
The midfield's sorted.
They don't need him. They don't need him. Real Madrid don't need him. They got
Real Madrid,
and they got what's the other guy they got? What's the other young guy they got?
They got Camavinga and Tchouaméni.
Yeah.
Bellingham's playing for Real Madrid.
You know, when we talk about like the summer just gone, we have to like rewind a little bit and put ourselves back to the end of May, start of June, and remember the situation we were in. You know, let's not assess it now as a team that's got so many injuries and had a poor start to the season, because back then the team knew they were losing Mane. So, you know, I'm not sure if this is true, but certainly getting a forward in would have been one of the top priorities. Whether you say it's number one or not, it's certainly up there, isn't it?
They'll go by Darwin and Tchouaméni. But
let's not forget, the Mo Salah situation had been rolling on for months. So the priorities were to find a replacement for Mane. And when I say replacement, I mean a body, not a like for like, for everyone jumps on that, okay? And understand whether Salah is staying or not, okay? That's their two priorities for Liverpool, okay? Of course, they wanted a midfield, but at that point in time, right, that midfield had just been part of a team that had competed for 4 trophies. So when they're stacking up all their objectives, right, quite clearly they had Jude Bellingham or Tchouaméni in mind, okay? It's quite obvious they were big targets. And they knew that neither of them were attainable. So they got the people that they achieved the tasks that they knew were attainable, i.e. tie Salah down to his contract, get in on what they consider, and it remains to be seen, one of the most sought after forwards, you know, one of the star boys in the making in Nunez, and paid big money for him, okay? And they got in Carvalho and Ramsey, all right? So then the midfield, they went into the midfield clearly thinking, yes, we've got these ideal targets, but you know what? What we've got in Fabinho and Thiago and Henderson, right? Elliott coming back, Carvalho coming in, Milner, that will do us for a season because we've got so much quality. This squad has just got us to 4 trophies. Let's not spend 60, 70, 80 million on the 3rd and 4th choice. This midfield is surely good enough to get us through another season. Right?
Was that maybe a bit of stupidity? Because we know.
Yeah, but hindsight's a great thing, isn't it?
Guys,
hindsight's a great thing.
Super chats, because one super chat says this. So Elias says, if we don't win any trophies, Klopp needs to go. I mean, Elias says, no, that's on you, my man. That's on you. But thank you for the super chat, Elias. I do appreciate the love.
All this clap out needs to stop.
What's Good has said this, and this is what I agree with. So, in my opinion, Liverpool would definitely try and get Bellingham next summer. If we are going by the sell to buy model, Liverpool have already made 78 million already for Bellingham.
Where's that money? Where is that money?
Saving it to buy next season.
John, that's what he's saying here. Liverpool have already made the money. So if we're going by what we do, Liverpool have already made 78 million, and that will go on Bellingham next season. That was the money that was going to go on Bellingham this summer. So that's what I'm saying. The money. I think he's got it there. What's good? Big up, my friend. I think.
Can I just add to that as well? You know, when we look at like the transfer record, like the track record, okay, and spending big, when Trent, when Klopp and the coaching staff wanted a world-class goalkeeper.
Oh, hang on, sorry, no, it didn't.
Yeah,
we bought Nunez before we sold anyone.
Okay, yeah,
good.
Yeah, look, just looking back at the big transfers that we've made. Alisson spent big money on. Virgil spent big money on. Nunez spent big money on. And the key common factor with all of them is that at the point in time, that's what Klopp and his coaching staff and the recruitment team identified as being crucial for this team. So a season that we're having at the minute where we took a chance on the age and the mileage in the legs of these midfielders, and it's backfired, and it might continue to backfire. I think that going into the summer, that the case can be put to FSG so much so that they need to get bodies in, and they need to get quality bodies in. So I think you could see them go big, and people think that FSG won't spend big, but actually that's because they never felt they needed to, because they were so good at recruiting people back at the time. But when the case was put to them that, you know, they needed these players and it will cost big, but there's no alternative. These are the guys we need. Then they spent the money, you know. And I think this summer, the case will be put to them.
I totally agree with what you said. But the FSG, Liverpool spent big. Yes. FSG spent big. Because every single penny that we spent on name transfers, Liverpool made. So that wasn't FSG money. That was Liverpool money.
I think we have to stop separating them though. Like FSG is Liverpool, bro. Like when you look at the stock market, look at transfer, FSG and Liverpool are the same thing. They own it. Like if my pair of trainers is my pair of trainers. Nike
what people are getting confused on is people are saying FSG are going to there and they're spending big money. The money we're spending on big transfers like Van Dijk, like Allison, like Nunez, that's money that the club have made.
That's how football's supposed to go, though.
Yeah, that's a credit. That's a credit to them. Well done for being good at business.
The only problem I've got,
it gets to the point where you need to take that gamble, because if you don't take a gamble, you could be left behind.
FSG won't make a gamble.
If we get so far behind, you're going to struggle to catch up.
Right, I'm a little bit confused. Can somebody just clear this up for me? Because I'm pretty sure that like what Jan's saying is right, that they spend the money that what we make and stuff like that. But ain't that how football? Ain't they're the rules of the Premier League, isn't it? Like if you don't do that and you're spending your own money, you're breaking FFP rules, bro. And then
the only problem
is Liverpool are making all this money. We're not spending all the money we make.
Well,
now, people will say we have big funds. Yes, but Jamie, yes, we have funds. Yes,
300 mil. It's a lot of money.
Okay. But we're not spending the money that we could be spending. Because, as I keep saying, the manager only works certain players. There's nothing the club can do about it. If you're if you're FSG and you're on the phone to Jurgen, and it's like, right, I want Tuchemeni. Let's go for Tuchemeni. They work all summer. Tuchemeni goes to Real Madrid. Right, Tuchemeni went for Real Madrid. You want Jude Bellingham? Jude Bellingham. Talk to Jude Bellingham. Jude ain't available till next summer. Right, he ain't available next summer. Anyone else you want? You move on.
Anyone else you want? Nah, I'm happy with everyone I've got, and we're going to try and get Jude Bellingham next summer because
then Klopp's the problem.
My big problem is we keep sitting on our hands. Then we could be left behind. We're already maybe 3 transfer windows behind already.
Doesn't that mean that we never get any top players then? If everyone's going by that what we're saying now, that we shouldn't wait for a player, any player. Doesn't that mean that Liverpool just never get? No, that just means that Liverpool never ever get to buy any top players, and we have to hope that Klopp can turn somebody into a diamond. That's what everyone's saying, because we've only ever brought one world-class player, pretty much.
Chelsea spent what, 300 million this summer?
Yeah, 300 mil.
Have they really improved their squad?
Chelsea's a bad.
No, but this is what I'm going. This is what everyone's telling me about.
Well,
like that. Koulibaly's not better than Rudiger. Let's get that straight. Koulibaly's not better than Rudiger, right? They bought a striker that he's not going to do things. Sterling is a decent player, but I don't think he's the Sterling of 2 years ago. They bought a Kai Havertz a couple of years ago, and it's not really worked. Timo Werner was such a disgrace; he had to go back to Leipzig and look good again. Yeah,
I'm telling you, see, we put Timo Werner in our team. I reckon he hits.
But does he?
The only problem
I went for Jota instead.
The only problem I've got with that is like when FSG obviously not spending their money and spending money that we make and everything that, which obviously at the end of the day, that's the way you're supposed to do it and so forth. The only problem I've got and everything that is like when we won the Champions League and everything that, we accumulated all that money and everything that. They went out and they got Adrian on a free. They spent a couple of million in the day for Javier Luke, which was only about 15, 16 at the time. And they bought Seth Vandenberg for about a couple of million in the thing. They didn't really spend any money.
And did everyone read what Jurgen Klopp said about all that summer?
Right,
I didn't want to buy anybody.
Right, the following season.
Hold on, big man.
Hold on.
money should be still sitting in the bank to spend.
Right.
No,
but the following season. Hold on. The following season, we won the league. Won the league for the first time in 30 years, and everything that we won the league and everything that, right?
Yeah.
They didn't spend nothing. You know what I mean? They didn't spend nothing.
Didn't want
right. So then, if Klopp is if FSG let's say for instance, if FSG and the transfer committee is calling Klopp and saying to Klopp and everything that, right, do you need any players and everything that, and then Klopp saying that no, I don't need any players and everything that, I'm gonna work with this what I've got and everything that, then Klopp is a problem, because the only problem at the end of the day is sort of like having everybody fit at a certain time and everything that, as Cav said, as having the players fit at a certain time and everything that, and you're going to go for these players and you don't get these players, and you can say, well, you know what, then they're going to keep these players, work with these players and everything that. What you're doing in there, you're just recycling your team again and everything that. And there's only so much time in the day that you can recycle your team.
Oh no, you're right.
Until your team has to get refreshed. See what it is and everything that, right? Me as a fan, this is me as a fan and everything that. I'm not asking FSG or whoever spends the money. I'm not asking them at the end of the day to go out and spend massive amounts of money on this player, that player, this player, that player, and for that, and get all his bodies in and for that. But what you do is every season and day, what you do, you bring in one or two players and everything that refreshes your team and everything that refreshes the team. Then you get to a certain point in the day, right, where you don't need at the end of the day to buy anybody because you already got the bodies and everything like that. Do you understand what I'm getting at? At the moment now, at the end of the day, right, we're lacking in midfield. Do you know what I mean? And we're lacking. We haven't really got a sort of like a replacement for Salah to say, well, if Salah gets injured or this and that, we haven't really got a place for him. There's certain players in that team and that, right, that Klopp probably has to play because we haven't really got a replacement for them. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I mean? As a backup, this and that. What I'm saying is in days that say whoever spending the money and everything that needed at the end of the day to spend a certain amount every season to keep the team refreshed. So we're not in a situation where we have a situation in that one season when 3 of our defenders at the end of the day were out. And then for that, you had to pay 2 central midfielders in defense. Yeah. And even one of them at the end of the day got injured as well. Yeah. So you was literally fucked. You need to keep refreshing your team and everything. Do you know what I mean?
The thing with that, right? So when we won the Premier League, we signed Thiago and Jota. That's a quality summer. I don't care what anyone says. You won the Premier League with a quality squad. You don't need to buy 4 or 5. Thiago and Jota is a quality summer. And everyone said it at the time. Of course it is. Why do you need to buy 4 or 5 or 6 players every year? This madness is stupid.
No, not 6 players.
I'm not saying
6 players. 2 or 3.
My whole point is,
I don't
know. 2 or 3.
Liverpool have a budget of 100
million.
And
Simicast. Yeah, and Simicast. We got a left back in that we wanted. So we got Simicast in, Thiago in, and Jota in to a Premier League winning squad. How is that not a good summer?
Right, Toxic Liverpool have 100 million budget for transfers every summer, right?
Yeah, that's not a good summer. I don't get it.
Toxic, we have 100 million every summer. That's our transfer budget.
Yeah.
Right? And we go into the summer and we spend 20 million on that, or we don't spend any of it at all. Then that money should then be transferred over to the following summer. So therefore, you'd have 200 million to spend.
So what happens to inflation? What happens to inflation when wages come up the following year?
The
money disappears.
That's what does my head.
It's not like
why are we the only club? Why are we the only club in the Premier League? We're the only club in the Premier League that has to work at wages.
Can I ask a question?
Club goes on about it, but I'm not a Man United fan, so I don't do Man United podcast. They all talk about it.
Yeah, Jamie's right. Still, it's just that we don't support the other teams, man. There is a thing with the wages.
We just should not be brought into it.
Every club talks about it.
James not having it.
I'm not a West Ham fan, so I don't sit on West Ham Twitter or West Ham shows. I'm sure they talk about it. If West Ham don't get in Europe this season, they're fucked with the money they spent with no outlay.
Nottingham Forest are fucked if they don't stay.
Yeah, if Nottingham Forest get relegated, they're fucked. Because they spent too much money with no outlay.
Gamble.
Anyway,
We can keep that gamble.
Oh my God.
West Ham bought back 22 players, did they? Did they buy 22 players?
Hold on. Can I ask
No, not on the Forest, by 22 players, not on the Forest.
Let me
It's
ask.
22 players,
I
isn't
don't
it?
understand this. Why? I don't understand. I've never understood why people get upset when we've got a net spend of like 155 million 3 years. I don't understand it. I think it's balmy.
Hey Jay, let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. Did you think that we needed to sign a centre back this summer?
This summer, centre back.
This summer, do you think we needed a centre back this summer?
No, we've got 4 centre backs.
Did anyone? Well, I'm about to come on to it, right? Joe Gomez and Matip, you could class as injury-prone players, okay? Now, if both of them got injured, Matip had a good last season, but he's an injury-prone player, right? If both of them got injured, the situation we've got in the midfield now is the situation we would have in the defence, okay? Because we'll be playing Virgil, right? And we'll be playing Nat Phillips. And everyone will be talking about Nat Phillips, how we all talk about Milner. Not in terms of age,
as well.
just in terms of quality. Yeah, but he's injured, right? So,
but
everyone would then be saying we were negligent for not signing.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're trying to say.
Overstock on players, like Cav was saying.
And that's the point I'm trying to make.
You can't
I
overstock
get
on
what
players.
everyone's trying to say. I do generally get what everyone's trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is Liverpool should have went that step further in the transfer market and done something. And we were in for Jude Bellingham. We had 100 million sitting there to spend on Jude Bellingham. We should have went after Barella. We should have went after somebody.
Because he wants Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, but you can't just wait. You can't wait for these players. You cannot wait for these players.
Talk to him, though. Talk to him.
You can't wait for these players. You can't wait for these players.
Telling Jurgen Klopp,
I've been telling people
if you
this
can't
for
get
years.
him, then you need to listen to us.
Right, Jurgen Klopp wanted Jurgen Klopp didn't want Mignolet in goal. Guess who Jurgen Klopp wanted as a goalkeeper? Karius. Well, who did he buy? Karius, because he wanted Karius as a goalkeeper. Jurgen Klopp watched him in Germany and went, "I want him as my goalkeeper."
Yeah. In Karius' defense, he was goalkeeper of the season when we got him.
Exactly. And Jurgen Klopp wanted
for mine, though, fuck
it. He's a Newcastle goalkeeper now. Come on.
So FSG went, "Oh, you want Karius? I'll go and get Karius for you."
Fuck it, Jimmy, you had to go with Karius, didn't he? Or is it all the players you want? You had to go with fucking
I'm
Karius.
just proving a point.
He
went and got Karius and went, right, and then he realised Karius is absolute dog turd, absolute dog turd. Who's the next best goalkeeper out there? I didn't know how good Alisson was. We put 20. We put 20. My teeth come out. We put 20 goals past him. We put 20 goals past him against Roma. I didn't know how good of a goalkeeper he was.
20 goals.
But the scouting department and Jurgen Klopp realised how good of a goalkeeper he was. Went, I need a goalkeeper. Obviously, Karius is dog shit.
Karius is a bad fucking argument. You can't use Karius.
What I'm trying to say is, when Klopp wants a player, FSG get him that player. This is what I'm trying to say.
You know,
I think to Cav's point before when he was talking about the big players that we've actually got, seems to be fair, it seems to be a spine in it. Goalkeeper, centre back, striker now with Nunez, and then the only one what's missing is midfield.
Mark Woodward is the reason we're in this position, by the way.
I just think that like nobody was whinging when Klopp was waiting for them other players in it because he waited for all of them.
Yeah,
apart from Nunez, he waited for the others. It's just because we're in a bad space now. Everything seems heightened on it. But what Cav said is right. Like, and I know that everyone's going, "Oh yeah, but we are injured." I know, but every club gets injuries and that. You know what I'm saying? Without the injuries, it isn't as bad as it sounds. And waiting for Bellingham, if it was Bellingham,
that's what Klopp keeps saying.
Because it's like it's almost like I don't know example of like if there's something that you can get now, which is like not average, but it's good. But you know you can just wait a little bit longer and get the thing what's even better, and it's going to last longer, and it seems like it's got more potential to stay there. It's a choice whether you wait or you don't. Now this is where the FSG part comes in because I keep telling people like FSG's their objectives don't align with the objectives of the fans. Bro.
No, they want
just because we say something like, "Oh yeah, why don't we just forget Bellingham then just get Barella?" Like it's that easy. Just because a couple of Inter Milan fans say stuff and then someone in the press says something and that. He is their star geezer, Barella. the Italians love him as their star
It
geezer.
cost you probably 80 million.
Yeah, so because everyone said 80 million because Inter need the money, chances are you go in for it and then they're going to be like, yeah, maybe, but we might bump it up a little bit more. That's our savior right now. That's our guy. So we don't know either way. So people are like, oh, Klopp, you need to get over it. You don't even know if you're going to get Bellingham. Well, you don't know if you're going to get Barella either. So it is him to saying like they've dissected everything about certain players and who fits into our squad and how they want to play football going forward. And then FSG's like, yeah, safe, because for FSG, they don't care about winning the Premier League. I'm not even mad at them for it. They're businessmen. It's their business, unless if they can sell it and then give it to somebody else who cares, or someone else who doesn't care. But if you look at the prize money, this is what no one's looking at. The prize money of the Premier League, prize money of the Champions League, and different stages. Bro, if you go look at it, the difference between winning the Prem and finishing second is about 4 million. The difference between like winning the Champions League and finishing second is about I think it's like 7 million. There's not that much between it for FSG. So they're like, get top 4 in the group stage of the Champions League, go and win them games. That's why it looks like Klopp seems to play the dead rubber games. We're trying to win them still because it's more money. And that's how they make their money on it. Obviously, us as football fans, we understand every single fan.
Let me just say this. Let me say this. Do you know the only owner in the Premier League that actually wants to just win the Premier League is Man City's owners? That's it. The Glazers are happy finishing top 4 because that's where the money is. Liverpool are happy finishing top 4 because that's where the money is.
Yeah, but Jay,
Man City owners only want to win the Premier League. They're the only owners in the Premier League that go out to win the Premier League.
Yeah, but Jamie, like, I don't know where this has come from, because like, let's say if like an alien landed in Liverpool, right? And they said, and you was having a conversation with them, and I said to them, Liverpool Football Club, right, have won a Champions League, have won a Premier League, and missed out on the league by a point, okay? And we've won 2 trophies last season. And then I said, oh, but the people that own that establishment, they don't want to win them trophies. They just want to achieve the 4th, at least be in the 4 positions below. They'd be like, what are you on about? I don't understand. I understand the finances bit, Savage, and I'm with you on that. But I don't understand where this thing, because if that's the case,
they want to win trophies. They want to win trophies.
Yeah.
But their main objective at the beginning of the season,
that's my point. The main objective
is finish top 4. If you get anything around that, thumbs up.
I think the main objective is not getting relegated.
If you get top 4, thumbs up. If you add to it with trophies and you still get top 4, double thumbs up. That's how they feel.
My point is, in there, you could have got
Nunez is to get top 4. If that's their objective, just get top 4. Is that good enough for Liverpool Football Club?
This is the trouble we're making now.
Yeah, but that's where Klopp comes in, isn't it? Because Klopp doesn't just want to get top 4.
No,
that's why he's the perfect manager for them.
It's every owner's objective, as I keep saying, is to finish top 4 in a European place. The only owner who isn't like that is Man City's owners. They go to win the Premier League every year. That's their objective.
Klopp told everyone at the beginning of the season this. He said it in the press conference. They said about winning the league and that, and he said we need to get top 4 first. That's why everyone mentions top 4 first. Nobody wants to get to the Champions League and not win the Champions League. But the owners, I'm not saying that they don't care about winning. Because if I invest in something, I invest in the stock market, and that sometimes I can make a certain amount of money, or I want to get more in it. Of course I want to get more. But the cut-off point is the fact that as long as I get to this point first, I'm saying it because they're not football fans. It's not. I'm not even saying anything's bad with it against them. That's their prerogative, isn't it?
Yeah,
Roman Abramovich is a football fan.
That's the key point, Savages. You're not the trouble. I don't mind if people want to say, oh, that their top 4 is their first objective. That's fine. But when you achieve above that, you then can't say achieving top 4 is a negative or a stick to beat them with. Like, if you achieve better than that, if we finish 4th every season, then you can go, yeah, that's not enough ambition.
That's why I don't. When
you better that year on year, you can't then turn around and say, is that good enough? Because, well, yeah, it is, because we're doing better than it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what did Arsene Wenger always want for Arsenal?
Top 4. Kroenke's one of them, isn't it?
So we're turning into Arsenal.
Arsene Wenger wanted top 4 constantly for Arsenal. Now they finished out the top 4. What do Arsenal desperately want to do?
Top 4, obviously.
Right, so we're not
this is what I'm saying.
settling.
It's every owner's. No, we're not settling. What I'm saying is, every owner in this Premier League, his main objection, depending what club you are, is to finish top 4. The only two teams' objection was not that. It's Man City's there to win the Premier League every year, and when Roman was Chelsea manager, he made sure he spent to win the Premier League every year.
Right, Jimmy, you said yourself, depending on what club you are. This is Liverpool Football Club.
I don't care about all this. We're Liverpool Football Club. I don't care about we are Liverpool Football
Jamie,
Club.
the point you made just here is perfect, yeah, because I'll tell you what both them managers, them owners have in common with each other. They have play for money. No, their money is play for money. Roman Abramovich didn't buy Chelsea to make a profit, bro. He brought Chelsea because he could buy Chelsea, bro. That's why
he sold Chelsea for £1. It don't really matter.
Bro, but the point is, these Saudi man didn't buy Man City to make money, bro. Like that's play for money to them.
Right, so
if they lost Man City, they'd still be rich, bro.
No, you've got to do more research into why they're pumping so much money into football. Like, actually do a bit of research into all state-run clubs. It's a lot more than just that. I won't get too in depth of it, right? Because I'm not even that clued up on it. But there will come a point where the value of oil it decreases, and then their money needs to be diverse into different states and different industries. So that's also
That's why Saudi Arabia started doing the boxing and stuff
watching,
like
but that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's not to make a profit on money. It's not like, we need to get Man City to the Champions League to do this to make this much money. They've got ulterior stuff. Whereas FSG, like, even up to, I don't even like this geezer, man, but I think I was watching Simon Jordan talking about Crystal Palace before, and he made the point, and I knew this from ages ago, because I think I was reading Kieran Maguire's book, The Financial Expert, and he was saying, like, he loved Crystal Palace in it. I think his dad played for them. He loved Crystal Palace, so he invested his money into Crystal Palace because he loves them in it. But he was like, yeah, but I don't. That's nothing to do with this, because I'm saying, like, he didn't buy it. He said it's like that's a financial burden on him buying Crystal Palace.
But
it's just that he loves them.
Lost a fortune.
He said if I was gonna buy something to make money, which is what all of us, if you're in business, everyone would know. Like, if I had like billions, I'm not buying Liverpool, bro. No chance. But what am I doing that for? I might as well just give all the money to somebody else. Because you have to be really smart, but FSG are super smart businessmen.
Right.
That's where they come from.
Liverpool won the league. Liverpool's won the league, right?
That's why everyone's copying FSG's model.
First time in 30 years. Okay?
Yep.
That's
now,
the point, actually, Sammy.
What you're saying is FSG are happy to finish in top 4. Right, so Liverpool finished top 4 for the next 30 years, but never win the league. Are you taking that? Are you happy with that? Because I'm.
You know what?
We're not
FSG.
We're not happy. Hold on. No.
Make us say something. Hold on. What I'm saying today is I understand that the model of what FSG is doing, like they want to finish top 4 and, you know, to make the money in the Champions League and so forth. They're not really too bothered about winning the league and so forth. And the only team that seem to be bothered about winning the league is Man City. And then obviously when Roman was here, it was Roman as well. So Man City and Chelsea. But my argument is at the end of the day, right? When you exceed expectations at the end of the day of like getting into top 4, not only getting into top 4, winning the Champions League and I think that, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you win the league as well, right?
Yeah.
Surely, financially, it'd be beneficial for you to keep on doing that, keep on winning the Champions League and keep on winning the league. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Much less than actually sort of like getting. I can understand that they sort of like, you know, getting into the Champions League and everything that top 4 and for that, because, you know, you're getting certain money in groups in the group stages and obviously, you know, in the knockout stages and so forth. I can understand that. But surely if you're making more money and then they winning the whole competition outright and winning sort of like the league outright and everything that, surely your objectives financially should be to do that. Do you know what I mean?
The money's not enough, bro. The gap in money's not enough.
But then if Liverpool,
all right, he's talking about 4 million. You talk about 4 million. You know.
Yeah.
You talk about 4. Sorry, you talk about 4 million. A 4 million gap between coming.
Yeah,
second,
first place is 44 million, and second place is 41.8 million.
Right, and then there's a 7 million gap between sort of like coming first in the Champions League and second in the league and everything like that. I understand that there's a gap, but it's still more money. You're still making more money, and the thing is about the thing that is this: if you're winning at the end of the day the league, quite often, and you're winning the Champions League often and from that, right? Your revenue is naturally going to go up and everything like that with advertising. People are going to want to know you. That's how Man United in the 90s and everything that, because they was winning everything and such, right? They was getting advertising and this and that. So there was a time in the day they didn't have to spend their money. Didn't have to spend any of their money. It's only like nowadays and everything that where they're spending a lot and everything that, and even now they're not spending the money because they're borrowing that money. If they want a player, they're borrowing that money against the club. Do you know what I mean? When they want Anthony, they're borrowing that money against the club.
Which is not a good thing.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a good thing and that. But back in the day, in the 90s and so like we had players like Ryan Giggs, Beckham and all them sort of people there, because they was winning sort of like winning stuff regularly. Everybody wanted to know them. So the advertising them was astronomical, and they was making money. They was making dough.
But do you know the funny thing though?
Surely at the end of the day, so like winning the Champions League and winning the league on consecutive, occasions, surely that must be better than just getting into top four and having a decent run in sort of like in the Champions League.
What does it take to stay there? How much money does it take to stay there?
Hang on, guys. Hang on. I just want to say about that. What you're saying about United making all the money through the 90s and 2000s through success, right? And you're right with that. But guess what? In the 90s and 2000s, Liverpool Football Club spent more money than Man United.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money. Yeah,
Man United didn't actually spend that much money. Not as much as people think in the 90s and the 2000s. Because their whole success came from the class of 92. That team was their success. So they brought that up through the 90s and 2000s.
Plus, people want to come to them.
They used to buy 1 or 2 players every season.
That's what I'm saying at the beginning. That's what I'm saying that Liverpool should do that.
We have been doing that.
We brought 3 this season.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, there's important parts of that Liverpool squad and everything that, right, that needs plugging and everything that, right, and it has not been plugged. And there's no getting away from it.
True.
It has not been.
That's what Cav said, though, isn't it? That's what Cav said about the centre backs and that one injury, and then it changes from the
but what I'm saying,
midfield to centre backs.
Yeah, but we're always at the day sort of like 1 or 2 players and 1, 2, or maybe 3 players behind. We never plug these gaps or anything like that, because really and truly, all right then. You see with Calvin Ramsey. Yeah. And you got Trent Alexander and I think that, right? Mm-hmm. We should have been going out and buying some more decent than Calvin Ramsey. Because really and truly, he's come from a team. And remember, he's come from a team and I think that, right? That has literally struggled in the Scottish League. They literally struggled to stay up. And he's come from that team and I think that and we brought him in. Fabio Carvalho and I think that, right? Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. But the thing is about it.
When they got relegated.
Yeah, but they hadn't got relegated yet. They hadn't got relegated, and he had Premiership experience. The difference between Carvalho has not got Premiership experience. He has not got it. This is a step up for him. So we got hope at the end of the day that Carvalho at the end of the day hits the ground running. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm not saying that they maybe wouldn't have wanted him, but I would have wanted somebody more experienced than him to come into our squad. Because that's what we need.
We have got to build for the future. Everyone keeps telling us our average age is too old. Everyone keeps telling us our average age is too old. So we're buying youngsters for the future. So I don't mind buying these youngsters because what Liverpool, I've always said Liverpool have done wrong is not buy that young player. And then when you look back at it and they become a superstar, you're like, Liverpool could have had him. Liverpool could have had Odegaard. He had trials.
He went to Real Madrid.
Can I add to your point, Jamie?
He literally went to Real Madrid. He had trials at
Brendan Rodgers said he wasn't good enough.
He had trials everywhere. He had trials everywhere. Just to add to Jamie's point, though, right?
Yeah, it's true, actually.
We did need to sign younger players. You can only have 25 men in your squad, right? We did need to sign younger players. But if you want to sign quality as well, then believe it or not, you are looking at people like Bellingham. Do you know what I mean?
That's my point.
If you want a young player and you want quality, you're gonna have to spend massive.
Exactly.
Like you can't have everything. And let's face it, at the start of the season, everybody thought this squad was good enough to win the league. And let's face it, we're 5 points off the pace now because everybody's playing crap, not because they're injured, not because of injuries. You can't tell me that team that's been rolled out every week is not winning games because of injuries.
You're 100% right.
I think they're
You're
fucked.
100% right. Liverpool need to spend big on these young players, but everyone keeps telling me Liverpool can't spend big. Liverpool don't have money.
But they did because they just bought Nunez for 85 million. So,
No, 64 million. 85 million euros.
Liverpool don't spend big.
Like if we'd have brought in Bellingham, right, it wouldn't have got as many more points this season. Like it's not gonna start making Trent run any more than he is.
No, do you know what? And we bought Jude
Ain't gonna make
Jude
Virgil step out and engage the player.
Jude Bellingham would have to be a number 6 and a number 8, and he wouldn't play the way he's doing at Borussia Dortmund right now because he wouldn't be allowed that freedom because he'd have to cover Trent's runs. So, like Cav's saying, we would be no better off. We got it goes deeper than just buying players, guys. It does go deeper than just buying players.
I mean,
the team is.
We've been offered players. We was even offered Matheus Nunez and everything, and Klopp turned around and said, "No, we don't want him." Do you know what I mean? Surely at the end of the day, that he would have been player we could have brought in.
Here's my thing.
If that's the truth, that's fine. But where do these things come from, man? Because I never seem to find these when Klopp said this and Klopp said that, bro. Because as far as I know, all he ever says is, "I'm not talking about transfers," but there's always these things where Klopp turned down this person and Klopp said this about it. He's not dumb. He ain't dumb. I don't think that like he's got a brain. He sees football, innit? So when people are saying like he turned down this guy, and I don't know where did these statements come from? Because it's just to me, it's just Twitter dudes making stuff up, bro.
No, it wasn't. I think it comes out that Morana. Fabrizio Romano.
I read the Matheus. I read the Matheus Nunez thing under David Ornstein. David Ornstein wrote an article about it. That's where I read the Matheus Nunez stuff. That Julian Ward wanted Matheus Nunez, but Klopp weren't too sure on him. But
then again, did David Ornstein know about Luis Diaz?
Yeah, I mean,
let's see how Matheus Nunez' season goes at Wolves before everyone starts.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Everyone tells me about these baller players.
3 months ago, no one mentioned the word Matheus Nunez to me. Not one person.
No, and I remember last season, everyone was having a heart attack that Liverpool didn't buy Sal Nunez. Yeah, and he went to Chelsea.
We've seen how that went. Yeah,
and we've seen how that went. I think sometimes we don't give the club enough credit for actually going. They know a player. Like the Jota scenario.
Yeah.
I never knew we were getting Jota. I thought we were getting Timo Werner. Then he went to Chelsea, and I remember everyone thinking, waste all that time on Werner. He's going to Chelsea, and he ain't going to get anyone in. Like 24 hours later, we bought Jota. The club.
Do you know what that does as well, though, Jamie? It tells every other club if you're gonna overprice your player, we'll go into we won't sign him. Yeah. We're not going to be we're not going to be fleeced like Man United for every player.
That's what I keep saying. That's why I always say
Liverpool
will buy a player they think is worth it. They thought Virgil van Dijk was worth 75 million. No one else said no, and I don't care what anyone says. When we bought him, everyone was laughing. Everyone was laughing.
Everyone popping us.
Even some Liverpool fans were like, why are we buying Virgil for 75 million?
Yeah, I was fine with it, but I heard loads of fan bases were taking the piss out of it.
Yeah, loads of even the Liverpool fans.
And then Man, you brought Maguire the season after.
Liverpool were like, but Liverpool were like, the mistake we made is we should have signed Van Dijk from Celtic.
Yeah, well, that was under Brendan Rodgers, wasn't it? Brendan Rodgers.
No one's perfect, John. I mean, you can't.
Brendan Rodgers was linked to
Liverpool at the time.
Yeah, so is every other fucker, though. I mean, you can't sign everybody.
Jamie's right, though, because they laughed at us, but then Man U brought Maguire, and then Chelsea brought Kepa, and all of a sudden, Van Dijk's money didn't mean anything anymore.
No, this is what I'm saying. So if they think someone's worth it, I mean, we broke the world record for a goalkeeper and a centre-back in the same season, in the same summer. So they will spend money.
Different windows.
It was just, it was the same.
Different windows.
One in January, one in the summer, you know.
But it's not summer then. It's different.
Oh, John, come on! It's
2 different
4 months apart.
It's
4 months
It's
apart.
2 different seasons, Jamie.
But we broke the world record on 2 quality players. And at the time,
2 different seasons. I'm not giving this up. I'm not giving this up.
No way.
It's 2 different seasons.
Don't give it up then. It's cool.
No.
And we
I
respect that. I fucking respect that.
Jamie, you're wicked in her. You're wicked, brother. You're wicked in the dog.
Wait, and I don't
forget whose show this is.
I don't
Fucking
know,
respect that.
And I don't care if it was Coutinho money. I don't care. Everyone will go, it's Coutinho money.
Fucking
Good.
you know.
Not a lot of owners.
Jamie, can I ask why do people see that as
not a lot of owners give their club?
Yeah, why do
all the
people
money
see that as a
they don't
negative?
pay
Like,
for.
well, it was Coutinho money. Yeah, that's how business works. I don't.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
Only in football is it a negative.
It's
Any
weird.
other, any other industry.
Who's the geezer that owns
praised.
Amazon? Who's the geezer that owns Amazon?
Jeff Bezos.
Did he?
Bezos, yeah.
Did he thank the bank for helping him buy Amazon?
Exactly.
For getting loans to buy Amazon, to start Amazon up? Did he thank all the banks?
This geezer's wife took 56 million off him and he made it back straight away.
Did he thank all the banks? Did he thank all the banks for buying Amazon?
How much you take off
Amazon up?
56 billion.
Fuck's sake.
To be fair, she helped him with the company still, but he was like, "Don't worry, I'll make it back on Saturday."
Yeah. True.
A lot of owners sell their players and don't give their manager all that money. A lot of owners do that.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that they gave him all that money, so it don't bother me. But all that it bothers some people. It actually don't bother me. I don't give a crap. If he's got 100 million to spend and he's sold 100 million, he's given 100 million to spend. It don't bother me. I don't care. Look, all this FSG. Look, FSG bought this football club for $300 million or whatever it was. Something ridiculous, yeah. And they've now,
businessman.
I think Forbes rated Liverpool now. I think we're the 4th richest club in the world at 4.2 billion. I don't care what anyone says. That is great business by FSG. FSG are no one can tell me right now they're not great businessmen. You're buying a company, you're buying a product for 300 million, and then they're rated as the 4th rated highest football club in the world at 4.2 billion. That's great business.
Actual business.
I haven't actually got too much of a problem with them as owners. I really haven't.
I've never doubted FSG is business.
All they need to do to please a lot of people in the fan base is just release a little bit more funds.
They're not football lovers, though, are they? They're not football lovers, are they? They literally and they don't really like football. They're not really.
I can tell you what, though, Rod. I can tell you what, though, right? I've said this a million times now. If they had to get rid of all their sports franchises, but were only allowed to keep one, they'd keep Liverpool Football Club. Because
that's probably debatable. It's probably debatable.
Well, no, because Liverpool Football Club will make more money than any of their other franchises because it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah, we all know Liverpool. We all know the stature of Liverpool, I think. But I just think in the day with FSG and everything that I think with us and everything that it is what it is with FSG. We cannot expect too much from FSG. We cannot expect too much.
Yeah, but everyone sounds like they do because this is what my point was about half an hour ago.
I mean, to be honest, at the day, I expect a lot. I'm one of those people that thinking that they should do more and I think that. But I've come to the understanding and think that is that if you expect to at the end of the day, right? Klopp said this before, you know.
Yeah.
Klopp said it before. If you expect at the end of the day to sort of like the team at the day to be built fast, it's not going to happen that way.
No,
it's going to be slow. It's going to be a slow process. It's going to be a slow process. You know what I mean? So that means at the end of the day, certain windows and everything that they might not buy anybody at all. Or certain windows, they might just buy something for the youth setup or this and that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be done slow and everything like that. Yeah. But I think what us as fans at the end of the day are seeing at the moment and think that this slow building and think that is not really working. Do you know what I mean? It needs to be stepped up a level. Do you know what I mean? Because I think what it is, I'll go back to what I'm saying and said before. If you win the league, and before that, you win the Champions League and everything that, you have to progress. You know what I mean? Next season, everything that, you have to be winning shit. winning shit and everything. You have to build on that. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't build on that and everything, that right, we as fans will get frustrated. I mean, the thing the other night and everything that right, that game the other night with Napoli and everything that right. Looking at that game and everything that right, I'm not even sure we're gonna get out of that group.
But Raj, who are you like stressed with though, FSG or Klopp? Because my point, what I'm trying to say is,
I'm stressed with both. I'm stressed with both.
But
if we both, I don't
understand the FSG one, because if
no, but what owners,
what you're saying, right, on progression, but they must be thinking progression from what? 1 point behind Man City and a win off the Champions League. So to them, they're like, I don't understand.
No, but what is a progression isn't, and this season we win the win the Champions League or we win the league. But what I'm trying to say, then Dave, they're both catching smoke for me, and I'm not going to blame one without the other. You know what I mean? Because it takes two. As I say in that, it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango in the You can't just blame FSG and not blame Klopp. You can't just blame Klopp and not blame FSG. They're both to blame.
Sometimes you can just blame Klopp, because
but I'm trying to say. Sometimes at the day, Klopp and yes, he's to blame, but then sometimes FSG is to blame. So basically, you have to blame two because it takes two to tango. If FSG is going to Klopp and think that right, do you need any players and think that right? Yeah. And Klopp saying that no, I don't need no players and that I'm gonna work with this and think that right. That's on Klopp. If Klopp goes to FSG and says I need money to buy this player or that player and everything that, and FSG says, well, you know what, I can't really do it, we ain't really got the money and everything that's on FSG. Do you know what I mean? And that's what seems to be what's happening. Klopp has gone to FSG and asked them for money. Yeah. Klopp's asked them to buy players and they've said no. And
for this season in particular, or last season as well.
I think it was
because my point is, if we had won the Champions League and won the Premier League, would you still be like this?
I think it was overall. I think he said he's gone to ask them for money and everything that, and they said they haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? He said that in his press conference and everything that. So really and truly, you put that on FSG. Now if FSG goes to Klopp and says to Klopp and everything that, go and get this player or go and get that player and everything that. And Klopp says, no, I don't want that player and everything. I'm all right with what I got and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much FSG can do and everything like that. So that's on Klopp. So
that makes sense. What I mean? I don't see any point FSG offering Klopp players and him saying no, by the way.
But what I'm saying is that real. Yeah. So if he says that if they said that they go and get this player and for that, you need to got money to go and get this player, and Klopp goes, well, no, I'm happy with what I've got and everything that I'm happy with what I've got. That means that FSG is offering him a certain amount of funds to go and get this player and for that, and Klopp's refused and everything that, right? That's on Klopp. Now, however, if it's vice versa, now Klopp turns around and asks them for funds, and they say no and everything that, well, it's on them. So you have to blame. You can't blame one without the other and everything that. And something as well. The biggest point is that we're never ever really gonna know what's really happening until one of them leaves. Until one of them leaves and everything that, and then you go find out what's really.
FSG's not going to talk about it because they don't need to, and Klopp don't seem like the kind of geezer to ever.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it now. He probably talk about it later in the book later. He probably talk about it in the book later when he leaves.
He'll look like an idiot himself if he talks about it.
Yeah, well,
what's he going to come out and go? Oh, I never got backing or the money that I wanted.
I didn't get back.
FSG would go.
Cap, I don't know.
I paid you the wage you want, right? And you won trophies at my club. So what the hell are you saying?
Kev, I don't know what he will say, but usually at the day, right, when these people leave the club and everything that, right, usually things come out about their tenure at that club and everything that. So who knows what will come out? Who knows?
Yeah, Klopp. I'd be surprised.
Can I ask all you a question? Can I ask all you a question about FSG and Klopp? Yeah. Does no one think that it just seemed like a perfect match made in heaven for both of them?
They love each other.
You got Klopp here, who I'm not trying to be the second place and all this business, but it literally was only I got to go off because it's last season, isn't it? This season's not even halfway through, quarter through. So Klopp has his players, they stayed fit, and he got to all the finals and he won 2 of them and missed that. Well, one of them was like by 1 point, so it's not a final, and then the other one goal on it. And if FSG, they're like, well, because when you said if FSG go to Klopp, and why owner wouldn't? Why would an owner ever need to do that? Because from the outside, everything's going perfect. They're not going to be slating him because he fell off by 1 point and done anything like that. And for Klopp's point at that time, because no one was injured, he was just sailing through the motions. He had no reason to go and ask anybody for any players either. And then it gets to this season, and first of all, we know that the chances are that Klopp's not speaking directly to FSG about transfers. He probably speaks to them about life. But when it comes to transfers, he's speaking through whoever, like Julian or all them people. That's their job, innit? So if he did say, yo, we might need this season, and then they go and speak to FSG, and FSG's like, what are you talking about, bro? The season's not started yet. Transfer window's open, but you just got to 2 finals, and with the same players, you're telling me that you need to change. I'm not doing it. So it's almost like I see where both sides are coming from. I don't really think there's anyone to blame on situations. But when it comes to players on the pitch, FSG have nothing to do that wants to do.
Klopp did come out at the press conference and say he's not in charge of what he can spend. He has bills to pay.
You know.
So if he's not in charge of what he can spend, then that's all.
That's not news, Rod.
No. I just saw something on Instagram and everything that, right? And carry on. Sorry.
What's she look like, Rod? What's she look like?
No. It's this woman. This woman at Dave. She just hit this next woman at Dave.
Rod's is gonna give it the. I'll go now, lads.
No. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. But I ain't saying that. Fuck you.
Oh no, Rod. Rod is the man. Go on, John. What are you saying, mate?
No, fuck it. You put me off, haven't you, Rod?
Sorry, mate.
Can I ask a simple question then? And it is a simple question.
Red.
What club in England is better run than Liverpool?
Man City.
Yeah, but they have a cheat code.
Yeah, you can't really use them, man.
That's the only one. Brentford.
If Brentford were better run than us, they'd finish above us.
No, what I'm saying, not better run, but they're a very well run club.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making.
Right, guess what Brentford do? Same as us.
Because everyone's copying FSG's model.
But my point is, Klopp came out and said in a press conference, I'm not in charge of what I can spend.
Yeah.
So therefore, Klopp has been told there is no money available.
Nah, that's
two different things. What you just said there, though, not being in charge of what you send and not having money is two different things.
I look at the clubs around Europe that really spend money, like proper spend money, right? Yeah. Man City, owned by whoever they're owned by, with unlimited wealth.
And before anyone says anything, I do not want.
Man's gonna hate this.
Hang on. I'm just gonna try and say something. So Man City are owned by a country, basically. Newcastle, in the future, they're owned by a country right now. PSG. Actually, I won't name Newcastle because they're not spending.
Patman thinks that his £1 billion startup didn't mean a thing.
Man City owned by. Hang on, Man City are owned by a country, trillionaires, unlimited wealth, right? PSG owned by trillionaires, unlimited wealth. Real Madrid are basically owned by Spain. The Spanish government basically own Real Madrid, spend whatever they want. Bayern Munich have Bayern Munich occupy the German league because all the other teams in Germany are fan owned. So
that Bayern Munich thing is dodgy. They buy everyone for cheap from their rivals.
So no team in Germany can sell up to someone who's got money and compete with Bayern Munich because they're all fan owned, right? So Bayern Munich can pick all the best German players in that league and have the best team. Yeah, you look at all these clubs. Barcelona, I don't know how they're doing what they're doing, by the way, with the debt they're in. It shouldn't be right. It should be illegal.
That's Spotify money, man.
It's fucking illegal.
So you look at all them teams, they're the elite of the elite right now, spending wise. The team that is competing against all of them in the league in England and in Europe are Liverpool, run by FSG, who are nowhere near capable of spending at the level of the teams I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from the outset, FSG ain't actually doing a bad job.
Jimmy, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
I know it's not what you're saying. I'm just making a broad. I'm just making a broad point. That's all I'm saying.
That's the bigger picture. That's the
That's
bigger
the
picture.
picture.
We should never lose sight of that.
I don't want just to be clear, I don't want FSG to go out and spend 100 million.
Oh, I know you don't. You're just going to release a few more funds.
I don't want that. I want FSG to go out and get the players that we need, fill in gaps in.
Yeah.
To get to the point where we can maybe spend 40 million here, 50 million there, and we'll be fine. But at the minute, we're 3 windows behind, and we can't afford to do that.
Yeah, but John, like the thing is, you say 40, 50 million, like this goes back to like the value of players in today's market. Like,
no, you get where I'm coming from. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't expect.
But that's the thing. Like Liverpool squad. Yeah, but Liverpool squad is so elite now that to actually add to that squad, right, and get youngsters in, you are going to have to spend such big money. 40, 50 million. 40, 50 million is a bit of a stopgap.
You know for a fact we're not going to do that. We're Liverpool. It's FSG. We're not going to spend that money.
Yeah, but
we was going to do, isn't it?
Yeah, if they don't, then they'll continue to do what they have done and extensively scout, wait if they have to wait, and add quality to the squad that continues to make us compete with trophies. And I'm all right with that. Like in the short term, it's frustrating, but in the long term, at the end, come the end of the season, I back this squad to be in more finals and be competing for trophies. So
I'm just not too happy with Milner.
What I'm saying is, if that doesn't work and we sit on our hands, right, with Man City, United, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, even Newcastle, we're already 3 windows behind, in my opinion. With Newcastle, the money they have, say, where are they going to be in 4 or 5 years' time if we can't compete with them teams?
Yeah, but John, like under this ownership, we're not going to be able to compete with them because
I don't see no proof in that though. The only team we can't really is City, because Chelsea spent how much last year and how many points behind did they finish?
Right, if we don't win the league, right? If we didn't win the league, right, and we didn't win the Champions League, would we have such a big deal with Nick? No. Would we have such a big deal with Standard Chartered? No. So the league and the Champions League, winning them trophies, have got us them big deals. If we don't keep winning, then companies are eventually going to end up walking away from us.
I'm not sure if it's the winning, John. I think it's the amount. No, it's the amount of screen time that we have, and it's
I'm telling you.
But when you say winning, Liverpool, means Liverpool are on the biggest TV broadcasts in that year. That's what gets you the sponsorship,
we don't keep winning. We're not going to get the TV rights. We're not going to get them matches.
Liverpool always get the TV rights.
I can guarantee you right now, if Liverpool didn't win another trophy for 10 years, Liverpool will probably get similar TV rights we're getting now.
Because we
just that. It's because our worldwide support. It's our worldwide support.
Adidas walked away and said we weren't a big enough club.
Yeah, because we're in the shit then.
But we were shit. We were shit.
Yeah, we were shit.
If we don't keep competing and win trophies, that could happen to us again.
Robertson.
We won't be that shit, John.
Robertson.
People said before, Liverpool would not be that shit.
I think, let's be fair to Klopp. So far, he's not stopped competing the whole time he's been here, bro. Once he built his team, final after final after final after final, that is not stopped, bro. Let's not lose sight of how long ago last season was. I don't care about I'm not trying to do all the second place business and that, but we did win trophies.
No, I think what is a Klopp. He makes mistakes sometimes, and in his personnel, in everything that. And I think really and truly, people like Milner, and I think that right. I think with Milner, his time has come. His time has come in for put him in the backroom staff, but backroom staff or something like that. Navigator needs to go.
4 years ago.
And yes, I'm saying Oxford Chamberlain needs to go. And
4 years ago.
That's what you make a great point. But the problem is transfer window is shut now.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, when these players go in and think that, right, you probably find out that you'll get a more balanced team and everything that. That's why I said said a while ago, it is what it is with FSG and it is what it is with Klopp and everything that, right? We as Liverpool fans and everything that are just got to sort of like, we just got to deal with it. We just got to deal with it. Because none of that's going to change. FSG ain't going nowhere and Klopp ain't going nowhere.
That's what I said,
do you know what I mean?
I've
so
been fine with
basically,
it,
we just got to deal with it and everything that, and like hope and pray for the best at the end of the day that we don't fall too far back behind, and then that we're not an attractive club to actually come to and everything that, because it's all right having that money, but then again, you have to still be that attractive club to come to. You understand?
That's why Jamie was right, because there's no evidence of us falling off at all yet.
Right.
Like we've lost a few games.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We're still there. We're still around about something for that. We just got to get our performance sorted out and everything that.
Yeah.
But there's players in that squad and everything that doesn't need to be there. That doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, but right now, they need to, because everyone's injured and the transfer window's closed. That's my point. Like, now the transfer window's closed. Everyone can say all the one about Milner and all these people.
But let's have it straight. Let's have it straight in the thing that, right? Navigating and thing that, right? You're not going to get many games out of him. Yeah? Oxlade claiming the flirt, you're not going to get many games out of him.
Yeah.
Let's have it straight in the thing that, right? So these two players that I just said in the thing that, they don't need to be in the squad, because you're never going to get any games out of them.
Not in the squad.
You know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But they need to be gone. That's what they don't come in the squad ever again. Go. Do you know what I mean?
Contracts don't work like that.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that these players at the day, all right, here what happened now.
Both at the end, didn't it? They both at the end of their contract.
But when they come back, all right, if they come back into the squad, what's going to happen from that, right? They're going to get injured and everything that, and they're going to be out of the squad and everything that. So what's the fucking point? There's no point in having them. There's literally no point in having them for that. You might say to them and say, look, at the end of the day, you know what? In January, go look for a club and everything that, right? Because you're not going to play here again. We don't need you. Get rid of them in January. You know what I mean? You've got what, 4 months till January? Get rid of them in January. Just get rid. Because now I'm hearing that today that sort of like Navigator's being picked for the for his international team. Hold on, ain't you supposed to be injured? Do you know what I'm saying? So these players that they don't need to be in the squad. If you can get rid of them, the bad eggs and everything that, yeah.
They're not bad eggs, bro. They're not bad eggs.
They're my bad egg, man. They're my bad egg, dog.
That would make them something wrong with them personally, and that they clearly all the
no. But what I'm trying to say, all right. Let me rephrase it, and then right. If you are a player and I think that, and you're world class player, and I think
yeah.
But you're only able at the end of the day to squeeze out 10 games in a season. Let's be generous. Say 15 games in a season, and then they sort of like all across the board. I'm talking about FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, and League, and everything that, right? Do you know what I mean? You only use 15 games and everything that, right? And then you're injured and stuff, right? Yeah. To me, at the end of the day, right? You're of no use to our club. You're of no use to our club for that, because we can only get that much out of you and everything that. So really and truly, you become a bad player to me. I mean, you could be skillful and all sorts and for that. You become a bad player for me because you're not available to us when we need you and everything that. You're not available because you're on the injury list.
I agree with you. I just mean for this particular season when the transfer window's closed, them being in the squad or being out the squad, because listen, you take them two out, the places on the bench start replaced with are kids that don't play for us anyway. They're just there. The goalkeeper who's never used, and then some other youth player who's just there to experience sitting there. So my point is that if they came back into the squad because they end up being fit, we know that Naby and Knox are going to get injured again. We know that, innit? But everyone likes to act like, oh, yeah, let's do this and all that stuff and that. But when the games come along, if we want to put one of them youngsters on and they get trampled all over and the shit, all of a sudden their confidence is gone. Everybody hates them. Klopp's stupid. Instead of when them two are fit, you just put them on the bench, innit? Because they're still going to be more experienced than whoever. If it's only 2 or 3 games you get out of them, it's not going to affect our squad because they're just on the bench. They're just on the bench anyway. Because everyone just keeps going on about Milner. But I'm saying, if Naby's fit and Milner's fit, most people are the way everyone's acting now. Most people want Naby to play on the pitch anyway, for however long he can play. So we might as well just be on the bench. Because otherwise, we just got depth we got depth of nothing. We've got empty seats.
I don't mind Milner playing anything that, but he should not be starting the game. he should not be starting again.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
some of
That's
that's down to how Klopp's choosing him with loyalty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, because he thinks he can get the job done. But when you look at our bench, like it's a mess anyway.
It's funny,
yeah,
isn't
that's what I'm
it?
saying. Milner at the day, to be fair to Milner and everything that, right? His availability for the team and everything that is awesome. Do you know what I mean? To be fair to him, I just don't think we should be starting with Milner in games and sort of that. I think Milner's a sort of that sort of player that needs to come on in League Cup games and like FA Cup games.
I agree. I said that. I personally think 100% believe this. I know man can say if the team was fit right now, and everyone go, oh, team shouldn't be fit. Big 6 games in, everyone should be fit in it. If the team was fit now, Milner wouldn't have played a full game yet. I really believe that the season would start in like that.
Yeah, he could have a point there.
You come on to see 10 minutes of the last whatever game out. He wouldn't have
been
playing.
The game out.
When you look at our team, what's fit, everyone go look at our squad and then name all the players of where you'd play somebody. Milner wouldn't be playing, bro. But everyone's injured. Right, so that's the reason why I don't come hard on him and that, because come down on hard.
Yeah, you can't really, because at the end of the day,
because he's just trying his hardest for the team. Obviously, it's not his fault, but
yeah, it's good.
Right, I just want we're gonna finish here, but I just want to big up what's good with super chat again. Big up to you, today. I think Klopp is too attached to players, which makes it hard to move players on and bring in new ones. Ox and Cater should have moved time ago,
which he said.
Yeah, I sort of agree. I do think Ox should have and Cater should have gone 2 seasons ago for me, but yeah, I think we all agree with you in that sort of state. Right, I just want to finish on this. I'm going to share it, the screen, but there's advertising all over it, so I won't share it.
Here we go. Here's that. This is where the toe.
Hey, come on, man. What colours of hair, bro? Ginger or blonde? Well, go on.
Oh, you got to love a redhead, don't you? But no, this is redhead with
redhead's a lethal, you know.
Redhead's a dangerous man.
Hey, listen.
Blood clot.
There's not many of them in the world, bro, but some of them, I'm saying, bro. They're like their own. They're like their own people, and no gingers, man.
Yeah, they make a great chin strap. Oh, I love them, man, love them. But no, right, let me share this. It ain't nothing like that. You do.
Hey, Jamie, did you see Gigi on SmackDown, bro? Come on.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I knew you did, bro.
It got paused for a while as well, but we move. I thought we could have a laugh at this. Not the Wellman advertisement, but so La Liga president taking a piss, bro. This is mad. So La Liga president Javier Tebas will report the Premier League to UEFA for unsustainable spending and causing transfer inflation after clubs splurged almost 2 billion, and it was a lack of control could endanger the sport. This is
meanwhile they got Real Madrid and Barcelona in their league.
This is coming from the person who's in charge of running La Liga, the same person who's letting Barcelona be in 1 billion worth of debt and still let them buy players and stuff like this. But apparently it's all it's the evil Premier League's fault about transfer inflation. Do they not remember Real Madrid buying everybody back in the day and causing issues?
Yeah.
They started all of this. They started all of this, bro.
Yeah.
This is just madness. The Liga president is preparing a report with UEFA on a transfer inflation. The Premier League only sent 2 billion on players. La Liga only 404 million. Like it's their fault.
You know what happened there, Jamie? The Real Madrid argued. That's what happened.
Yeah. He's preparing his report. He's concerned the money that England are spending. By the way, this is why the Spanish teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid want the Super League. And that's the whole reason the Super League in the first place.
League.
Someone will have to tell me, but I think Real Madrid have sold some of their TV rights as well, you know, like Barca.
It's not their TV right. They don't own it.
Yeah.
They put it against
crazy.
The club that they don't
actually
have
the club, didn't they? So Barcelona basically have to be in the Champions League next season or they're effed.
They're pissed that they haven't got Haaland and Mbappe because they need some attraction to that league.
I love Pat-Man.
Yeah, Pat-Man's going to come on. Pat-Man's going to come on the show. He said it.
Yeah, Pat-Man, you got to make an appearance, bro.
I love Pat-Man.
You know what's going to happen? Pat-Man's going to come on and he's going to be like 10, bro. He's going to be a 10-year-old, bro.
I think he's 20.
I think it's Too intelligent.
I think he's 23. He said. I think he's 23.
I'm going to be disappointed though, because in my head, Pac-Man is Guardiola.
Yeah. Cav, I said this on the last show because it's zoomed out and you can't tell automatically it's Guardiola. I'm always thinking Pac-Man looks like this, bro.
I'm telling you, if Pac-Man comes on and we get what Pac-Man really looks like this.
I told you to use a young picture, man. Give it a break.
I can't. Do you know what? I'm getting used to this now.
Okay, no, man. She got a chin like Jimmy Hill.
R.I.P. Jimmy Hill, man. That's my guy still.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like fucking Alex Higgins.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, she got Bo Selector face on it. She got the Craig David.
Oh, Jesus.
Craig David.
But yeah, there is a new show coming tomorrow night, guys.
Yeah.
New show coming tomorrow night. It's just a podcast. It's a 2-hour podcast. It's going to be the After Dark podcast. So if you guys want to come on, it's going to be tomorrow night.
It's going to be brutal, that, bro.
It's going to be savage. This is your life.
It's going to be basically, we're just going to chat, guys. We're just going to chat. It's going to be, we can just talk about anything.
FSG.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good thing.
You can talk about football if you want, other sports.
That's what's going to happen, Jay. You're going to organize an After Dark show, yeah. It's going to get, and then everyone's going to be like, so, Klopp with the transfers or what?
But we're trying to talk about Lindsay Dawn McKenzie's hell necklace.
Hey, come on, HMB's back in the shop left side. You know the vibes, bro.
So yeah, that's gotta be tomorrow night.
I'm ready, man. I might wear a vest.
Hey, After Dark, we're talking. How far can we push it?
You can push it as hard. You can push it as
Wait. That sounds like you can push it as hard as you want, bro.
Allow that in it.
Yeah, we're just going to have a laugh, guys. 2-hour podcast where anything goes to an extent. What I would do, I'm not going to put the modernisation on it. So
don't waste your time with that.
There's no point because it'll get probably blocked anyway. So
we're going
to have a good time, guys. So make sure you're all here tomorrow, and we'll have a.
Bailey wants us to do a talk on how to choke girls.
I can tell you everything I know.
Oh yeah, I can sort you out there.
I'm saying, bro. I know. I've got no chat lines.
My day, bro.
When I used to talk up girls in clubs and all that, or whatever in bars, I never had chat lines. I just spoke.
Nah. That's the first bit of advice. Bin off chat lines.
Chat lines are dead food, bro.
You've got to remember how good I used to look when I was younger. That's what I keep telling you.
Put the picture up. Bench.
I don't think I've got it now. I had to take it off. I ain't got it now. No, I haven't got it. The picture with the shirt.
I was a wrong one back in the day.
I
was a wrong one back in the day. Trust me, I was a wrong one, proper wrong one.
Man, I got this. I can already tell this is brutal, bro.
Oh, there's this is the Liverpool team that we're playing Ajax on Wednesday.
I told you about this Dua Lipa thing, bro. Take her off, man.
Oh, Dua Lipa.
There's Salah, Diaz, and
No, don't say it, bro. Respect Dua Lipa, bro.
Darwin Nunez.
What's Klopp though?
Look at you, Klopp down in the bottom. Love it.
Yeah, that's more of an insult to Dua Lipa for me. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
She does look like a Korean tranny there, don't she?
No, respect Dua Lipa, bro. She's incredible, bro.
She is.
You know what I'm saying?
She get all sorts of angles.
The Diaz one kills me.
Yeah, one of the kills.
Yeah, of course you can come on tomorrow on Pac-Man. No problem.
Yeah, bro. Pac-Man on to get cooked up, bro.
Justin thinks this is my sharp lines. Jamie be like, oh Jesus Christ!
I'm ready, man. I might even take a pre-workout before the show, bro. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're all interested in that, come back tomorrow in the chat and.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
What time are we jumping on? What time are we doing it, Jay? 10, 11, what?
10 o'clock tomorrow night. 10 o'clock tomorrow night.
Hey, come on, bro.
It's got to be.
You gotta get the Trevor McDonald intro and that.
Yeah.
Come on, big up Trevor, bro. Legend.
Okay, the whiskey's coming out tomorrow night. I'm bringing the whiskey on.
Bring the whiskey on. I've got the whiskey.
Hey, Savage. Have they still got the Porsche coming, Smallleaf?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
That's on good nights day, you know. That's on really good nights day.
My city is a dangerous place, bro. No one goes out in here anymore, bro.
I wish.
Wow, where's the blood clot?
Yeah, it's a dangerous place,
big
man.
Big up, Bailey. This channel and panel is quality. I love it.
Come on.
Bailey. I wish I never mentioned about chatting up with him now. Look, Jamie's out of line. You don't sweat much for a fat lad. Guys, this is what I want tomorrow. Get in the chat as well. You know, bring up subjects you want us to talk about as well.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. If you got any questions,
that's a good idea.
Get some questions in the chat.
Yeah. Any advice you need, get that question ready, bro.
We are just going to have a laugh for 2 hours.
There's got to be one person that's questioned so long, and it's a specific scenario.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Everyone, if you drink, bring your drink. I'm going to have a whiskey tomorrow. We're going to have a laugh. We're going to have a good time.
I told you, man. Pre-workout's the only thing I drink, bro. I'm going to bring it in.
Savage,
I might have a Red Bull and go over the top, you know, like let my hair down.
Bring your protein shake.
Savage is the man, you know. Savage is the man. Trust me.
Oh, man. It's deep, man. Every time somebody says, let's get the cans and that, bro. I used to think that it was actually on about, like, whatever can and that. He's like, yeah, get me, like, Pepsi Max and that. He used to look at me like, what are you talking about? Like, bro.
Get the tinnies in. Get the tinnies.
Rage Pot's already started, bro. I can't help you on that question, bro. You know, like
Rod, make sure you've done your washing up before you come on.
Oh yes. I'll make sure I get everything done. Everything out of the way.
Right,
no booty call.
Pots and pans.
Yeah, man.
I've asked for a micro penis asking for Pac-Man. Pac-Man went up into the doctor. There's nothing they can do.
You got micro penis, bro. You got to learn to use your mouth and your fingers, bro. You're screwed, man.
Oh gosh, so this is what
that's the advice.
2 hours tomorrow, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Right, Tom I've already done that video, bro. It's already up, bro.
Oh, my son is knocking on his door at half one.
He got blocked at first, so I had to edit it, but it's already up. Yeah, your son's ready. Someone wants to join the channel tomorrow, bro. Let him in, man.
What's the Secret Invasion?
The Marvel movie? Well, the TV program.
Oh, I've run out. We'll talk about it tomorrow, Marvel and stuff, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. And maybe we can do a reaction to something, or maybe I can do a prank phone call live on the air. Saying like that.
Let's do it, man. Make sure you put the finger out on Twitter as well, bro. Promote the damn thing, bro.
Maybe for a laugh. I could ring Babe Station live on the air and get her to do stuff.
Look at this guy. I'm thinking he's making this idea up on the spot.
I haven't. Have you seen the whiteboard? Have you seen the whiteboard over there that's got a shitload of things on it?
I know a few of them lasses, you know. All right, you know, come on.
Savage will sort you out. It'll cost you.
We know if he photos them. You know, we know his job. So
I told you, man. I told Cav this the other day, man. They're just regular nice dons and that, man. One of my dons was on Redmond TV the other day, bro. Like I turned it over. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's going on, man?
Oh, I see that one.
You saw her in it, John? Yeah.
Who was it?
Hey, man.
She's nice, man. She's nice still, you know, blood.
Yeah,
are you all people that dog?
Look around to his
Are you all people that dog?
Hey, listen. It's strictly business, bro.
You call both Station and John.
Hey, any cameras go off tomorrow, it's going to be suspect as anything.
You know, that's what.
It's going to be deep, man. It's going to be deep.
If I do that phone call and the camera goes off and you muted it, you are getting my food. I'll tell you.
Hey, Jay, once you make the thumbnail and the link and that, send it everyone early, and then we can all post it on Twitter like hours before and that.
All right, and I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll get it all set up. Lovely.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Wicked.
Catch you all tomorrow.
It's going
to be funny, man. It's going to be funny. We all need a laugh, don't we? So big up, guys. See you all tomorrow.
Peace out, boys.